This time we're kicking it off at Roadkill Nights, powered by Dodge. This is the event that we do every year in conjunction with Dodge, and we take over M1 Concourse in Pontiac, Michigan. We meet fans,
welcome,
enjoy thrill rides in Hellcats, race in Demon simulators, show off cars from the Roadkill fleet, and most importantly, have street-legal drag racing right on Woodward Avenue. We bring in some radical cars, and they can actually race for cash prizes. And then there's the show and shine, where people bring in cars that are frankly way too good for Roadkill. It's mind-blowing to us that 40,000 people are showing up for this thing. Roadkill Night!
Again! I love those people.
Oh, this is an amazing event.
It is, and this time, it's not our fault if we lose as much, because we're not racing our own cars.
We're not racing Roadkill cars. We will do the celebrity shootout. The big deal at this event is drag racing on Woodward. Pretty much, we're gonna schmooze. This is what you've always wanted.
No responsibilities whatsoever.
None.
I love it.
We've got this tradition of bringing in professional NHRA racers Matt Hagan and Leah Pritchett to do burnouts on Woodward in their nitro-burning professional race cars. And so we thought to ourselves, you know, if they can come play at our party, why can't we go to an NHRA national event and race them? And so our scheme was to put together the Dragwar. Remember that car? It's our 74 Jag XJ12 that has a 383 small block Chevy and a 671 supercharger. And the whole idea here is to fix it up, drive 800 miles from Woodward all the way to Brainerd, Minnesota, where there is an NHRA national event just the next weekend. And there, we're gonna go head-to-head against Matt and Leah. But first, we've got to race them right here at Roadkill Nights in the Dodge Celebrity Showdown, where they put us in brand new Challenger Hellcats and let us go head-to-head right on Woodward Avenue. This year, we've got myself and Finnegan, Leah Pritchett, Matt Hagan, Richard Rawlings, Bill Goldberg, Matt D'Andrea from CarCast, and Christy Lee from Velocity. We just drew chips to decide who's going to race who in the celebrity shootout in the Challenger Hellcats. And as it turns out, it's going to be me and Finnegan in the first round. And so one of us is going to be gone and the other's going to keep racing. Tires and lost to Finnegan in the first round, but I would pretty much let him win because of the victory last year.
I don't know if that was on purpose, but I don't care, I'll take it.
But now watch as it gets really interesting as Leah Pritchett races Richard Rawlings. He's gonna hit the wall. Okay, that's some vindication. Remember a couple of years ago when we raced the guys from Gas Monkey Garage right at our own Roadkill Nights event? They spanked us hard. But you know what we didn't do? We didn't hit the wall.
Oh, Richard.
However, Richard Rawlings did. He was right about one thing, though. It was really good for social media.
Yeah. He knows.
Now we're going to find out if Roadkill can actually spank an NHRA star. It's Finnegan versus Leah Pritchett.
Come on, baby, go. I think I just beat Leah in a drag race. Woo-hoo-hoo! She's shaking her head. I'd wager this is the best day at work ever.
So Bill Goldberg beat Matt D'Andrea, and that means the final is going to be Goldberg versus Finnegan. So here we are in the final. Finnegan's actually made it. He's got his dream race against Goldberg, and it's starting to rain. Goldberg drove right past Finnegan to take the win at the Dodge Celebrity Challenge at Roadkill Nights 2018. It's the day after at the Roadkill Nights battlefield. You can see all the people are gone, the vendors are picking up and stuff like that. And we are getting back to one of our original project cars, the Jaguar. It's a 1974 XJ12, and somebody had already swapped a small block in it, but we put the Wyand 671 blower on the thing. If you go back to the history of the car, I remember building the thing, and then later on, Finn and I drove it on Power Tour. We took it to Tulsa Dragway and ran the thing down the track. Finnegan says it ran in the 13s. I think it was in the 12s. The flashback footage will tell.
How long has it been?
I saw it at Zip Tie Drags when Dulcich tried to drive the thing. He's standing like this and he reaches in and hits the button and the thing fires up and takes off. And I, of course, thought that he had it in gear, but he's like, no, it was in park. Okay, ignition on.
Oh, that's we're gonna need the help of those people in that trailer over there.
Yes, we are.
You should stop that guy right now before he takes off.
Let's give it a shot. Okay. That worked well.
You know we're gonna need that battery.
Yep.
How long has this car been sitting?
Forever.
All right, freshie. All right, homie, hit it. All right, that's a start.
Yeah. What? Runs really bad.
Dude.
It ran.
The blower drive's a little noisy.
Yeah?
A little bit, and I just realized there are no headlights, so we need to drive really fast during the day. They're there, but they're not wired to anything.
Oh, yep. Sure enough, it moves in park.
Try that again.
Okay. Nope, still goes forward in park.
All right. Hey. It moves. Yeah, buddy.
I don't really trust it.
Is this yet another one without seatbelts? We might need those.
They won't let us run it if it doesn't have them.
It's not a good sign. It's probably out of gas. How far is it to Brainerd?
There's no gas in it.
I guess we just push it to the garage then.
Yeah. Are you actually pushing?
We were having some pretty good progress. We made the engine run, which is big for us. But then the engine decided to not run, and it's probably because it's out of petrol.
So here's what we know. The thing moves forward in park and reverse, but it does have neutral, and then it drives also in drive. So I don't think it's a shifter, because how would it move forward in park and reverse, but still have neutral? You know, it's doing something.
Yeah.
We should look at it.
Okay, that could be park.
That's park.
I mean, it could be.
It's all the way forward, though?
Yeah.
Okay, no, the shifter's fine.
All right, well, we have a brand new, perfectly good Gear Star transmission sitting in a crate. Let's just put it in. Well, we were hoping it was just going to be the shifter not shifting, but as it turns out, no, there's something else wrong with the car, because it is indeed in park, but yet it still wants to go forward, which is never good. So we are taking the car apart.
One drive shaft coming out.
What we're doing is taking the exhaust off because it's too tight. The transmission won't come out between the pipes. So we have to drop the whole thing. Finally ready to actually pull this thing out.
There we go. All right, I like it.
Balanced?
Yeah. Are you all right?
Yeah. What did you do?
I think this cable was the only thing that was holding it up.
Thanks to my lightning reflexes.
Wow. And that's how you get a transmission out quickly and efficiently. He's still alive. We're fine. We're fine. Roadkill lives on.
New Gear Star. Gearstar's like the official transmission of Roadkill, and they always send us stuff that is way too good for our cars. This thing is just a turbo 350, which is 3-speed automatic, same thing that came out of the car, but it's a level 4. This thing is good for 700 horsepower. We think at this boost level, the Jaguar is probably making 500 to 550 or something like that, so hopefully even we can't break this. And it has a Yank billet converter. It's supposed to be 3,000 stall. This thing is going to be pretty sweet. Gearstar actually dyno tests all these things before they go anywhere. You don't have to guess how much fluid to put in it because they just give you the right amount and the converter's already filled and all that stuff. Hold that.
All right, so I'm gonna lift it up.
Transmission's pretty much wrapped up and we're putting the exhaust back on, which is exciting. I think all we're gonna do now is change the spark plugs, put fluid in the trans, and hit the road.
Ha!
Neutral, reverse. Oh, wait.
Ooh, that looks like park.
There.
What was the key?
You have to move the shifter over pretty hard and push it all the way forward.
So maybe Dulcich just didn't have it in park before. He just thought he did. All right, it's fixed. Let's go outside.
It's
and put
fixed.
some gas
Let's
in
go. Smoking a little. Ready to road test?
Oh yeah.
That was reverse.
All right, we got one gear. Hey, there we go. We got drive. Thank you, Gearstar.
Wow, this is hard to drive in sandals.
It is?
Yeah, because the brake pedal's so close to the gas pedal.
Oh, I guess
My
that means
sandal
I'm
gets
drag
caught.
racing then.
Oh, I'd already handed that over to you.
Really? You're gonna let me do that?
Absolutely.
Dude, you're gonna let me flounder in front of thousands of people at an NHRA national event?
I'm not going to be the one to Richard Rawlings the wall in front of an NHRA national crowd.
I don't know if I'm capable of doing what that man did.
I guess hit the road, right?
Sun is shining, Jaguar is running, we have multiple gears.
Will it shift? Yep.
Nice. It feels good.
Yeah.
Sounds good too.
I predict smooth sailing. I'm going to say it out loud. We're good.
I've never doubted you before, you know, except for those times I doubted you before.
Except for all the times in every episode.
You have crazy ideas. You smell that?
Yeah.
Burning rubber?
Yeah.
Tires rubbing?
Probably.
Keep going.
So we're headed to Muskegon because we're going to put this thing on a ferry across one of the Great Lakes. Which one is it? Is it Michigan?
It's the great one.
The great one.
Yeah.
Superior? Oh, wow, this handle's bad. Oh, that's spooky.
Yeah, and you're only going 50.
Yeah, it feels like I have no caster because the front end is up.
So we're mobbing down the highway, and then all of a sudden it just starts coughing and sputtering and barfing.
Oh, this thing is incredibly rich. Something is wrong. Mike thinks there's a chance that maybe the voltage regulator alternator is dead and we're just low on voltage. And so we're going to try that first because it's easy, because neither one of us wants to take off the blower scoop.
Tools. Oh, you're about to be smart, aren't you?
Yeah. Let's review who installed these spark plug wires.
Oh, that one's melty.
Yeah. It gets real rich when it's pumping raw gas through that cylinder because all the sparks go jumping to the header because it's burnt to a crisp.
Who's got the electrical tape?
That's what we need. Finnegan had to fix it and wrap it with, by the way, way too much electrical tape, but now I think we're actually solved and back on the road. I bet that's fixed.
Oh, yeah.
Your turn.
All right. Oh, it's so smooth.
Isn't it great?
It really is. 30 or 40 feet of electrical tape and she's fixed.
Handled. Now we are driving a Jag. That's a lot of smoke.
I feel like Cheech and Chong right now.
I looked underneath it, it wasn't dripping. Roadkill fan. Answer is muffler dragging on the ground. I think we just need to get some electrical wire and hang it. What happened here is that the rubber part of the muffler hanger just popped out from the metal part. No big deal. Gonna tie it back up with electrical wire. There we go, all wrapped up in a nice little bow.
On the road again.
My repair might not be very good.
Nah, you know, it's only every 10 or 12 feet.
Wow, I'm really not very good at this.
You can't tie a knot.
Yeah, that's missing again. I'm guessing your electrical tape melted through.
Yeah. But I really don't want to pull over.
Yeah, kind of sick of it.
Unless it involves a restaurant and an auto parts store.
Just when you thought we couldn't get any more skilled, we're averaging about 2 miles between breakdowns. Oh, that's looking great. Look at that. Good work, Finn.
We melted the boot off of this, repaired it with electrical tape, got about 3 miles down the road and melted it again. So we got a new boot on our old wire and this DDI heat shield sleeve that we're gonna slide over here. This stuff's awesome. That can go directly against the header and it will not burn through.
All right. You're missing moped burnout. Sweet.
That's why I like hanging out in auto parts store parking lots.
Wow, smells good.
All right, now we're on a road trip.
Nothing's leaking.
I think the smoke is tranny fluid hitting the exhaust. We did work on a transmission, so.
Make anything leak?
Yeah. It's a bit more smoke than before.
Yeah. So the whole smoke situation inside this thing started bad and got worse. That and the muffler's dragging the ground again. Finnegan claims that my repair failed. It didn't. The other muffler fell down. But due to lack of hardware, we're gonna take our old antenna and use it.
David's under the car repairing his previous repair to the previous repair of the mufflers that were dragging on the ground. And while he does
No, it's the different one.
while he does that, sure it is.
It is.
I'm gonna wire up the headlights because those were cut off years ago when we put this monster radiator in the front of the Jaguar and hacked out the core support. So tonight we'll be fully legal with registration, insurance, and fully functional lighting.
Okay, smooth sailing.
Ah, my mind, we're already there.
We're rolling all the way.
Car's fixed. The bolts have actually, yeah.
Does that work good?
Well, it was, you know, it was
No! That's my food!
right in your chips.
Wow, muffler didn't even graze the ground.
You're getting better at this.
The antenna repair was pretty good. You know what? Road trip feel just kicked in.
Oh yeah, sunset. It's 122 miles to Muskegon. We got a full tank of gas, an 871 supercharger. It's dark. Nothing can stop us. Nothing.
Man, we got in late last night, mostly because of our 8 breakdowns. But man, it was awesome. We're cruising along, probably speeding, and we get lit up. Cop pulls us over. Fortunately, we were really cool to him. Registration and insurance. It was pretty funny. This morning, we're gonna load this thing on a ferry and take it across Lake Michigan. Let's go.
The boat didn't sink, roadkill style.
We are good. So this is Milwaukee. I like it.
You don't want to work on it after that Pleasant Ferry ride, do you?
Not especially, but I can smell the exhaust up front, which means our collectors are leaking. And
I know.
call me crazy, but I don't think it's going to pass tech.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Thing runs strong.
It really does. Tune is good. All we got to do is work on the safety.
Yeah. This is going to be a roadkill first safety list.
Oh, I think the NHRA are roadkill fans, and they're going to be impressed with this car.
I think they're just not going to let us regardless. We could pass all of this stuff, and they'd be like, no. So what we're going to do right now, throttle return spring. I'm on it. We have to get the wheels and tires mounted with metal stems, secure the overflow, and I will check fluids, putting on new brake pads. And then sometime later in the program, when we're running out of time and in much worse moods, we'll do a massive header leak and installing a drive shaft loop.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot this thing has EBC rotors on it too. Finnegan has done so many brake stands of this thing that the brake pads are destroyed. EBC sent us more yellow stuff. Man, Jaguar makes this super easy. The other thing we have to deal with this morning is rubber valve stems. See how this tire has just that stem that pushes into the hole? Well, the NHRA requirement for cars that are quicker than 1199 are that you use the bolt-in style or nut-in style like this so they can't fly out. Now, this thing probably won't run 1199, but it has run 1250 with a slipping transmission. And now we're all gear start up. So who knows what could happen. New valve stems in.
It looks like the gasket blew out.
When the mufflers fell off multiple times, they were like dragging all of the weight off where the collector bolts to the header, and it just blew out a gasket. That's not a gasket anymore. Tires on, out of here. Okay, we could go to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, 241 miles, 3.5 hours.
Works great.
It's got a lot of traction with a lot of stuff in the trunk.
It really does.
I hope the exhaust has less falling off now. That last stretch beat me up. Unfortunately, this thing was popping and misfiring and banging, and we just stuck it out and cruised the thing like 100 miles in that situation, which was driving me nutso. Pretty sure it's got a bad vacuum leak. It might be something else, but that's a problem for the morning. We're not going to deal with it right now. We got Roadkill fans over here at the hotel, and they're offering me beer, so bye-bye.
Another beautiful day.
It is Thursday, the last day that we have to actually arrive, although Mike thinks we can just do it sometime Friday. But we have tech tomorrow, and I'd rather not be late, but we probably will be, because this thing is running like doo-doo. We got to figure out why and fix it. So I'm going to use the flammable brake clean to check for vacuum leaks. Spray this around the base of the blower, and if the engine idles up, then that's where my leak is. Nope. So let's change the plugs. Let's not heat it up anymore. We didn't find a vacuum leak, so we're going through the plugs, and look at that. That thing is wasted with oil fouling.
My theory is that this engine has sat outdoors near the beach for years, and the cylinder wall is rusted up, even though this was a brand new engine with like 3,000 miles on it, and our ring seal is pretty much gone. So, new set of spark plugs, go racing anyway, because Roadkill is really a blueprint for what you shouldn't do with your life.
That spark plug fix went way faster than I expected, and so I'm going to try and work on our NHRA tech list. The slicks we're still waiting on because I got the wrong tire size in the back, so Finnegan's getting new ones. Brake fluid that we haven't handled yet. NHRA only lets you have 12 inches of rubber fuel line in the entire car, and I've got about 12 inches right there. So I'm going to take this piece of 3/8 hard line. Let's give that a shot.
Totally fixed. There's only like one thing left on that whole list.
And that is the drive shaft safety loop that we've been procrastinating on big time, and I'm not even going to do it because the rule says 1199 or quicker, On street tires, you don't need them, and I'm gonna find out if they consider drag radial street tires.
I drive on them on the street, so.
We got caught in this gnarly rainstorm. We could not see at all, and I was getting drenched. But the agenda claims that we're an hour from the track, so we should be able to make it. Maybe with 2 more sets of spark plugs. We've been pretty much going through a set of plugs every 2 hours. How come we can never get it right? It's like we had a great engine and a slipping transmission. Now we have a great gear star and a wrecked motor.
You just can't let these things sit for years.
I know.
Without oiling down the cylinders and keeping them from rusting.
Okay, here comes 7. That's not firing.
Wow, look at that, it is totally caked.
And it's weird, there's nothing out here on the metal, but the porcelain is just caked.
Melted motor oil, that's what that is.
Ready? 1 hour. We can do it.
In theory.
Wow, look at that.
We have exhaust leaks, hear them? That all came out of the headers, dude.
This is junk. I'm glad we picked this one. Maybe the Impala runs pretty good. We can take that.
Too late, I'm already in love.
It'll be great in tech when we fire it up to leave and it just smoke screens the whole building.
Let's push it like a race car. Then they'll never know how bad it really is. Ah,
Made it!
yes we did.
And look at this. NHRA actually gave us a display on the Midway. General Mayhem, Muscle Truck, Stubby Bob, Crusher Impala, and a couple Challengers that are our backup plan. We're here at the NHRA Lucas Oil Nationals in Brainerd, and it's a packed house in here, a lot of fans crowding around. So our challenge now is we got to put plugs in it again, fix some header leaks, and then at noon we have to get it to tech to find out if we fixed enough stuff that they'll actually allow it to run.
This is incredible. This is the biggest race I've ever been to. The zoo is massive. Everybody's here. Everybody's battling for points because this is really late in the season. And somehow, some way, NHRA said, yeah, show up in the middle of all of this with your leaking 6-cylinder out of 8 Jaguar and make some passes. So I'm gonna have fun no matter what, even if we suck once again.
NHRA Tech came by. We got away with a lot of stuff. We still got to put the neutral safety switch on the thing. We don't need the drive shaft safety loop, which is a whoo! And I don't think they really like my throttle return spring. But aside from that, we're gonna be good to go. He agreed this is gonna be the worst thing he's teched in 2 decades. So.
Setting records here. They are shorter, they're 2 inches shorter.
It's fully outside the lip.
So we might not be anywhere near it.
Might not, but we won't know that till we put lug nuts on it.
All right, let's go find lug nuts.
Okay, we gotta go find lug nuts, then we'll have wheels and tires and pretty much be ready to run tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've got our new spark plugs in this thing and a couple new wires and everything, and it's running worse than it ever has. And we discovered why. In fact, this is a problem we probably had on the street. It is dribbling fuel out of this booster and these 2 boosters. Way flooded. There you go. Still doing it. So we're pretty sure that the issue here is that this is the needle and seat that lets fuel into the carburetor bowl, and it has a little tiny seal that needs to go through that hole that lets the gas come in and then stops it when the float comes up. And we're pretty sure they're sticking and allowing the float level to get too high, and that's why it's running out the boosters. So we're gonna go wander the pits and try and find parts, because we have to do an autograph session in half an hour and race in an hour and a half.
So allegedly Bob runs, and Bob has parts we could use to replace these parts. And rather than just take Bob down the drag strip, we're going to take these parts off of Bob's carburetors to fix the carburetors on the drag wire. It all makes sense if you really don't think about it. Sorry, Bob.
Okay, do you have a good one in your hand? I do too. Okay. Fixed. Stealing parts out of Stubby Bob. You wouldn't think that would work, but so far it did.
Bob's a giver. Hello. Can I sign one of these for you? All right.
Thanks.
All right.
Did you guys get the drag wire running right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's ready.
Are you guys ready for this? We got the big match race here at BIR.
Oh, yeah, we got brand new tires and all the leaks are fixed. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I noticed no smoke. Great stuff.
Day's not over yet.
No promise.
Now, Leah was giving you some heads up on the staging process. Do you feel like you got it?
No, all I heard was blah, 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 pro tree, lights, don't screw up.
No, I think it'll be good. They were up here yesterday with the fuel cars running and everybody else, and you put your first half moon on, and then the other person, in all sportsmanlike, puts their half moon on, and then you go in just nice and neat, if that's the way that we're gonna do it. And
She's saying don't double bulber.
Are you going to double bulber?
Well, I'll admit that was my plan for winning. Yes.
Guys, thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hood pins are in. This is hardcore race prep.
This is going to be awesome.
I know. Make it happen. Okay, after a little bit of bench racing, we've actually got Finnegan and Leah in the cars, and it comes down to this. We find out if we're going to embarrass ourselves or not. This is all about the fun, and it's really cool that Leah's in on it, but I hope Finnegan puts on a smoke show. All right, here we go. Just as a reminder, this is an NHRA national event. We've never before failed in front of this many people live.
All right, so there you go, the very refined Jaguar next to the brand new 392 powered Challenger driven by Leah Pritchett. First of 2 rounds.
Oh no, it just started running, bro. I hope it's not leaking.
He's gonna get treats so bad. Watch him roll through the bulbs.
The scoop is slightly obstructing my view of the Christmas tree. That is not an excuse.
all right.
All right, so Finn's pretty stage, and here comes Leah.
He didn't double bulber. He's doing courtesy staging. She rolls in. Finnegan rolls in.
Okay, here we go. Oh no, she's pulling away from me. We're so close. That was actually a pretty close race for a little while.
All right, he made it down the track.
Man, that was an actual race! Look at that! 1267, 106. The Challenger was quicker, 111. Oh man, if he had actually treed her, he could have won that. Wow!
Oh my God, that was so fun. I just went down a drag strip at an NHRA national event. Incredible.
That was bitchin'.
Okay, I gotta say, we just won. That was amazing.
Well, we now have no supercharger belt, and the lower pulley is totally loose.
Did the blower belt come off of that thing?
That was amazing!
My man.
What is the deal? And what's going on here?
The lower pulley's a little wobbly.
You know what that is, actually? It's the damper falling off.
The bolts could be loose. That's what I'm hoping for. The bolts could be loose.
So,
No, the balancer's fine.
no, it's not.
Is it moving? Oh, okay, we're done.
We're done.
This time on Roadkill, I get 1 pass at an NHRA national event.
Yep.
And then I break the car.
It is thankful that that balancer did not come off and bounce across the track. But I
don't know how thankful I am.
That was a victory. That was a win. I can't believe it ran 1260.
Damn.
Oh, but you did lose.
I want to go again. Here's what's happening. On my pass against Leah, this thing actually spun on the crankshaft, wadded up the inside of it. We had to get a new damper. It's on there now, but we don't have the right tool to install it, so we're bringing in the hammer. We have like 30 minutes. This was our crank pulley. This thing has 34 teeth. The one up top on our blower has 38 teeth. So basically the blower was spinning slower in relation to the engine speed, making X amount of boost. By flip-flopping them, we're gonna speed up the rotation of the blower and cram more boost into our small block. Well, there's 10 minutes until this has to be on the starting line, and the problem we've now run into is we think we can get the balancer all the way on, but the bolt that was holding the old balancer snapped off in half, and it's still in the crankshaft. So we can't put a new bolt in there to hold our new balancer on.
Yeah, we got about that much thread engagement on the crank, so we're done. It was a valiant effort, so it's all over. This is where we're supposed to go. Aww. So we're racing challengers, and we got to be there in 10 minutes. So rematch, right?
Yeah, rematch. We're gonna get out here and get it done. You guys came all this way, so we're gonna have some fun with these 1320s.
Yeah,
It'll be a little bit of change for me, you know, go from, I don't know what they'll run, but like go from that to 300 miles an hour.
Well, you're already qualified. Why don't you let him try it?
Yeah, hey, keys are in it, brother. Hey, when you get out, just don't take the helmet off. You know?
Best day at work ever.
It's all good. Let's go have some fun.
Yep.
All right,
Race it.
brother.
Good
Thank
luck.
you guys.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
good luck to you guys.
I have a brand new Challenger here. At my disposal. I don't even know what I'm doing. There's a pro tree, there's Matt Hagen in the other lane.
Man, I hate losing, so let's get this done. Let's make it happen.
I think I'm just gonna red light and try to get a photo of me in front of him, at least briefly.
You know, we've been talking about the Roadkill guys, the fact that they're here this weekend. Well, the Jaguar apparently was unable to answer the call for round number 2.
All right, here we go. Round 2. Now I get to line up against Matt in brand new Challengers.
So this is it, final matchup. It's gonna be Hagen over here in the white one, Finnegan's in the purple one, which by the way is an experimental color.
Well, you already won the burnout
He
contest.
tried harder, yeah.
This is once in a lifetime stuff. I just burned him farther than Matt Hagen.
Finnegan won the burnout contest this time. He lost to Leah on that. There they go, staged.
Oh, it was so late. What's he doing? Why am I winning this race?
No way! Finnegan won! Where was your boy? How did that happen?
Kill me, man, kill me. What the hell?
We never do that. We won in front of all of these guys.
That's crazy. They're cheering. Like, there's thousands of people here cheering for friggin' Roadkill, dude. It's amazing.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you,
Enjoyed
me
it.
too.
I'm gonna go get the other
Yeah,
one.
why don't you go race a real car? Man, that was awesome. We actually got the Jaguar down the track. Then he beat Matt Hagen, and then Leah hugged me. Win!
That was so fun. Oh my God, I won a drag race against Matt Hagen. And I shouldn't have, because I was dead late leaving the starting line, but apparently he took off in second gear, and I drove right by him. It was incredible. Where's Freiberg? I had to tell him about this.
I have to tell you, for me and Finnegan, this was one of the most fun roadkills to shoot ever. Why? Well, first of all, because Roadkill Nights is radical. We love that Dodge makes this happen for us. I mean, we close down Woodward Avenue in Pontiac, Michigan, and have street racing, which is incredible. And then it was so neat that we were able to dig up one of our oldest and most famous project vehicles, the Jaguar, and make it live again. And man, did that garbage fall apart in glorious fashion. But not before we were able to run it at an NHRA national event. Wrap your mind around that a little bit. I can't even believe that they let us do it. And you know what? Matt Hagen and Leah Pritchett were so cool, and so was everybody at NHRA. And you know what I just realized? In one episode of Roadkill, Finnegan out-drag raced both Leah Pritchett and Matt Hagen. What is the world coming to? That makes no sense whatsoever. This was an awesome adventure. Can we top it? You know we'll try, and you will find out on the next episode of Roadkill. Support companies that support Roadkill. Buy your speed parts at jegs.com. This time on Roadkill, you asked for it, you got it. Finally, it is a showdown between Blasphemy and my F-Rod in an 8-second quarter-mile showdown.
And we made 1,100 horsepower in this car and road tripped it nearly 800 miles.
Big win.
Still runs.
Blasphemy is back. Our 426 based Hemi and a 55 Chevy has been with us since season 1 of Roadkill. Can you even believe that?
Has it been that long?
It has been that long, and I haven't seen it in, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, and a whole bunch of stuff has changed. Here's our plan. We're gonna start here at Wild Horse Motorsports Park in Chandler, Arizona, make some passes, I guess tune on it, figure out what's gone wrong. And then we're gonna road trip the thing to San Diego, California, right along the border. We have to change the supercharger at a dyno shop, tune it up to make it quicker, then road trip it to Famosa Drag Strip, which is outside of Bakersfield, California, where my own Model A called the F-Rod will be sitting there. And my Model A has gone 8.501 in the quarter mile.
This car's never been that fast. It ran a bunch of 60s in Vegas, but since then it's pretty much been broken. And currently that supercharger's wore out, which is why I ordered a blower and sent it ahead of us, hoping that we can pick up power. The car got heavier over the last couple of years because I got tired of, say, the fiberglass trunk lid blowing off.
I remember that.
So it has a steel trunk lid on it now, which is way heavier than I thought it would be. So I got rid of 19 pounds of battery cable by moving the battery up front.
Really?
Yeah. And that battery was over here, but then I was having oil pressure issues with it. Every time I pulled the parachute, I'd lose all the oil pressure. So everything is different. The motor plates, the oiling system, the fuel system, the electrical system. The blower, though, is the same blower from 2019, and I'm pretty sure it's wore out.
Was it on the 85 when you won Drag Week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But these headers are different.
These are slightly bigger.
When was the last time this road tripped successfully?
2019.
Okay.
Let's talk history of Blasphemy. This is my favorite roadkill project car of all time, and it all began with a $2,300 body of a 55 Chevy Bel Air that we bought out of a backyard in Hemet, California. And we hauled it all the way to Oregon to Jim Meyer Racing, slid one of his cool gasser chassis under it. Then we cut the wheel wells, put some cool wheels and tires on it. But the key to this whole car is Freiberger's fault. It was his idea to put a Chrysler 426 Hemi under the hood. So that's what we did. We thought, why not? Hemi and a Chevy, you're either gonna love it or hate it. So in the beginning, all I wanted was a cool street car, kind of like what the guys in the movie 2-Lane Blacktop drove. I loved the look of that car, which is why this car is flat black. And in the beginning, I didn't really care about how fast it went. I just wanted to look cool. And then somewhere along the line, I lost my mind and just spent every waking moment and most of my money making it faster and faster until finally, in 2019, Tony Angelo and I won Hot Rod Magazine's Drag Week event, going as quick as 161 miles an hour in this thing. The problem is it's really unreliable and it hasn't gone that fast since. Let's go test it. Let's go find out where we're at in terms of track performance, and then we'll figure out a way to make it more powerful and faster, hopefully before we get to Bakersfield and I have to line up with the F-Rod.
I was doing the nut and bolt check underneath the car, and I found a couple things that needed to be snugged. It wasn't that bad. However, I've spotted a really bad thing about tire clearance. Mike had the rear end narrowed, and unfortunately with these different wheels, they're too far inboard and they're hitting the inner wheel well.
So before this car went on the chassis dyno last week, I switched wheels, and I thought, oh, they clear the inner fenders just fine. They're not. They hit the inner fender bad.
Well, that was painful to watch, but it's probably going to save disaster.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with it.
All right, way better clearance. It's still going to tag it a little bit, but it's not going to cut the tire. We've gotten through our safety checks and we're ready to go put it on track for the first time. You gonna go all out or you gonna take it easy first time down?
Nah, you know me, I'm just gonna go.
Okay. Yeah, he'll lift when it gets ugly.
Oh, this is exciting. I have not driven down any drag strip in this car in over a year.
For the first pass in Blasphemy in a long time. A ton of stuff has changed on the car. Different throttle body, different injectors, coil on plug ignition, dry sump, different clutch, different transmission, different rear tires. See what happens.
That was fun.
Tires are brand new, so we gave them a little bit of extra heat. It's typically a good process for a fresh out-of-the-box tire.
All right, getting ready to roll into the beams. We're pre-staged. Now we're staged. Okay, a lot of cowbell. It did not hook.
You can see the tire bounced pretty good.
Yeah, that's the same two-step I've always used, so I could turn the two-step down if I had the laptop. Wow, it hasn't spun like that in a long time.
Thinking it through, the 6-speed has a much lower first gear than your G-Force did. He's got the computer out. We're looking at the data, just what happened to make sure that the two-step rev limiter was set where it needed to be.
There we go. All right, burnout number 2. We've lowered the rev limiter. Let's try this again. No, just smoke the tires again.
So it smashes, but the whole rear end of the car is squatting. It's not separating. That is fairly low tire pressure. Here's what's going on. You saw our first 2 hits, the thing spun the tires real bad. The first time it actually hopped the tire off the ground. Looking at the data, we're realizing that the camshaft was advanced a lot versus the last time you ran this thing. And he just told me that it's making more boost down low than it did on the dyno, which is unusual. So it's making a lot more power, so he's having trouble hooking it up with his old combo. Right now I'm checking tire pressure, which is below 12. Mike contacted Pete Harrell, his engine guy and tuner, and sent him the file out of the computer, the tune-up on the car, and he went ahead and pulled some ignition timing down low to take some power out of the car so that it would launch. Sun's going down, we're about to run out of track time. The folks at Wild Horse at Bradford Driving School have been super cool to us and they gave us some more time. So it's a nice cool evening now after everything that we changed, which includes the tune-up, the shock settings, the tire pressure, and new spark plugs. So let's give this a shot.
Okay, here we go. Pre-staged, staged.
Well, finally got down track. That was a 10:09 at 146 miles an hour. The mile an hour tells you that the car should be way faster. That's a very slow ET for the mile an hour. It didn't fully hook, and he hit the rev limiter in first, and he obviously was granny shifting the thing, but we're headed the right direction. I think he'll probably come back and give it another shot, kind of as is. 10:09, 146.
Okay.
146 is okay.
I short shifted one gear, hit the rev limiter, another one. I was a mess.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere. I know it wasn't fast and it really wasn't pretty, but I learned a lot. The problem with using the clutch when you shift is every time you use the clutch, it restarts the launch process over and pulls ignition timing out of it about 9 degrees. So you clutch, It pulls 9 degrees, then the motor's trying to accelerate with only like 17 degrees of timing in it. It's not accelerating as hard as it could. So for this pass, I've lowered the launch RPM another 200, and then we just pulled another ½ degree of timing out of it for the first second of the run. Hopefully that makes it stick. Hopefully I can remember not to use the clutch and not granny shift, hit my shift points, and go much faster down this drag strip.
He's using the clutch.
That was better, but it went left. I guarantee the 60-foot was better on that one.
Well, that was cool and violent. It left pretty hard, but man, this thing goes left like mad. Unfortunately, it seems to me like he was stepping on the clutch again. When he does that, it reactivates the ignition retard for the launch. So I think he just needs to figure out how to shift it without the clutch.
Curious what the 60-foot was, because it was way happier.
Oh yeah, it was way better, although you went hard left.
Yeah.
That's like a ladder bar adjustment.
Yeah.
Or a real tire pressure problem or a brake dragging.
We have a little bit of time left. I'd like to make one more pass, at least down the drag strip, to find out, you know, where we're at in terms of this car's performance.
Well, that was the best run of the night, 9.805 at 148.79, but the 60-foot was 181. So
Yeah, I don't know why it spun so bad that time.
it was really bad.
And I suck at driving right now, so
Drive to the hotel, as is, slicks, open headers?
sure,
Let's do it.
let's party. It's road trip day. We're fully tested and ready to go across the entire desert between here and Santee, California, which is like 300 miles, with nothing really in between. We need to take the slicks off and bolt the Coker tires that we had on here.
Let's hope it doesn't rain. It won't.
Yeah, and then we're going to switch the fuel lines in here because under this trunk floor are 2 different fuel cells. We're gonna switch the tune in the ECU. We're gonna take the little blower pulley off and put a bigger one on just to slow the blower down, and then put the side pipes on so we go less def, and then go.
We're cruising through Gila Bend, Arizona, and all of a sudden I realized this is where we were for the very first episode of Roadkill ever. Last night we stayed in a hotel that I swear looked like they had spray painted over a triple homicide. It was so bad. And we paid $45 for the privilege of staying there. Yeah, the room was over there in that corner behind that dumpster. All right, that's a bad memory, but wow, 12 years, our first episode.
Yeah.
All right, good time. Let's go.
Let's go. I think we're close to the highway.
We're probably gonna need to fix that.
Yeah, would you throw that spring on there for me?
Yeah, we got a problem with the throttle sticking, so I'm gonna go put another throttle return spring on this pooch. Maybe it's fixed.
It's gotta be better than it was.
How come?
I don't know. These are new issues.
One block later, next problem, the throttle is sticking, or at least the thing's idling way too fast now. We got 2 springs on here. Show them your port plug trick.
This throttle body is a prototype made by a guy named Phil Rohr. Incredible machinist. And one of the things he did was to improve drivability was he machined these plugs that are O-ringed that should go in here and cap off one hole so that you don't have these giant throttle blades when you're going down the road.
When you have throttle valve area that's a whole bunch, you move the throttle just a little, and there's a lot of air going, and so it's like just barely tip into it and it goes, ah! So that helps slow that down.
Well, that's not enough spring to do it.
This is not a car where you want the throttle to be stuck.
I think part of what's happening is the blower and the throttle body are all really hot and the butterflies are sticking in the bore because it doesn't return. And so what I'm gonna do now is increase the spring rate by adding another bracket, drilling some holes, putting the springs at a little bit better angle, stretching them out even further.
Ignition. It's not returning all the way.
I brought my old throttle body, which is a smaller one. That makes less power than this one makes, but the drivability is, at least today, better. So we're gonna take this off right now and go to the old school Hilborn cast throttle body that I used to have.
Trying to get it started now with the new old throttle body.
Hey, us. Let's go driving.
We've now stayed here longer than we stayed in that hotel room 12 years ago. My turn to drive.
If you double clutch, it won't clank when it goes into the first 4 gears. Okay. But you don't have to. Yeah, you're going 75 miles an hour at 1900 RPM.
At 7% throttle and almost 14 to 1 AFR.
Now where the blowers is really hot now.
Now it's 200. Are the fans and water pump plugged in?
I don't recall unplugging them.
I don't either. It's still going up, 203, 204.
I lowered the timing. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, it might not like it. Yep, it's cooling down. So it didn't like the timing.
What day is today?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
That's right.
Yeah, we're doing good. Yesterday went really well. What did you think?
Oh, I got to cruise the thing. This car is actually way better than you think it is on the highway. I was kind of blown away because I haven't ridden in it or driven it since we drove it all the way across the country in like season 3. That's 10 years ago.
It's been 10 years.
It's been 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You did great.
Yeah.
Oh, we learned a lot.
Yeah.
We learned that it wants to overheat if you lean it out on the highway.
That was interesting.
I think we both believe this supercharger is wore out. Well, I had one delivered to my friend Andy Rawls' shop, like minutes away from here. And Andy is really good friends with the dyno shop. So we're gonna go to Andy's shop, pick up a new blower for this. Then we're gonna go to the dyno shop, test it in its current configuration, then put a new blower on it and see, does it make more boost? Does it make less heat? Does it make more power? This will be pretty cool because I don't think we've ever done a hub dyno on Roadkill.
No, I've only ever seen one once.
And now we're at Rawls Precision Machine in Santee, California. The proprietor is a good friend of mine, Andy Rawls. He's the guy that built my drag boat. He does military stuff. He does stuff for the marine industry. And this is where we shipped our new blower. But the guys at the blower shop mailed us one that's wildly different than the one that's on the car. Externally, it looks the same, but there's parts and pieces here for actually tuning where the boost is going, how much of it's going to come out, and how quickly it's going to come out, which is pretty sweet. This should make more boost, and we should make more power.
Yeah, we won't know until we get to the dyno shop, though.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We're going to make it.
1 mile on slicks in the rain. We can do it.
We can do it.
Is this it?
We drove 1 entire mile without crashing the car in the rain on our slick tires, and now we are at Darden Tuned, a hub dyno shop right here in Santee, California. I'm excited because I have very little experience with a hub dyno.
Same.
And we have lots of things we can test. Not a lot of time to do it, but at the very least, we'll find out today, is that blower worn out? And so now with the front clip off, we put it in race mode. So the air filter comes off. We change to a smaller blower pulley. We take the side pipes off, put the bullhorns back on, then go to the back of the car and switch fuel pumps and tanks and make a hit. That's not happening. It's definitely not happening.
Mike is consulting with Darden, who's our dyno operator today. I'm changing spark plugs. And there's the plug that we've been driving on, and it might be just a little bit fluffy.
I just showed Darden our tune and the data logs from the track the other day to let him know, hey, this thing is happy, it will make a pull. All right, tune is in. Okay, street pulley. This will be the same one that it ran on Pete's dyno.
Okay.
So we maybe could compare.
Somewhat. We're done in the engine compartment here, and Noah and Adam did the exhaust for us, so Mike's gonna go back and swap fuel lines, and then I think we're good to go. On our show, we've only ever used like engine dynos or regular roller dynos. I've seen these, but explain how it works.
I've been doing a lot of high horsepower cars, and this takes all the insecurities of having to worry about slip or having to worry about car flying off the dyno or melting a strap. Plus, you also have roller noise, so you don't have to worry about roller noise on this as well.
And it's just gonna bolt to the hub and go.
So we take the tires off, connect straight to the hubs. So if he ever tries to lift, this will hold it down and you'll be good to go.
Is it gonna wheelie?
We hope so.
You haven't rebuilt this engine in a couple weeks. Let's do this.
I was going to say I was excited for this because I've never compared a hub dyno versus a roller dyno.
So what was the number that it made on Pete Harrell's chassis dyno?
I believe 850.
All right, let's find out. That's a lot of smoke.
940.
I'm not entirely surprised. 6,400 RPM. We're gonna go one more because
7,000 RPM.
7,000. Yeah. It sounds really happy.
It does. On the second pull, we ran it all the way to 7,000 RPM. It made 972 horsepower at the axle and 862 pound-feet of torque. More importantly, Finnegan and Darden are going over the data right now and just making sure that the air-fuel ratio looks good, that there's no anomalies in even like oil pressure and things like that. The boost is where they expect it to be. It's making about 13 pounds.
So the reason we're spending all of this time tuning an engine with a supercharger we know we're going to take off is because we want to make sure the tune is right, the engine is happy, so that we just take the blower off, put a new one on, make a couple more pounds of boost, hopefully with the same tune, and see if we gain power. Okay, we are headed in the right direction.
Our tuning gap in the beginning was this much because we were so rich, and as we started getting leaner, our tuning got smaller and smaller to the point where like the motor tells you, hey, I want this AFR and I want this type of timing, and there's nothing else you can do to make more power except change boost pressure. So now we're gonna change the blower. We're gonna load up a richer tune just to see how the motor acts first, then we'll lean it back out and see what the motor makes and how it responds to it.
Ready? Up. And over. Let's talk tech. These are both Root-style 871 superchargers from the blower shop. One of the innovations on both of these is the ports in the side of them where the electronic fuel injectors go. Now, you really have to have fuel going through one of these superchargers to keep it cool and sealed. There are some differences between the two blowers, though, so this isn't going to be a direct A/B test of just a worn-out blower versus a nice and fresh one. First of all, look how this has got a center divider in the top right here, and this one does not. It's also been machined for this special insert that goes right here and restrict the opening while also sealing the rotor a little bit more over here. You tend to get the boost rise earlier in the RPM band. There's also a difference in the discharge side of the supercharger. You can see how this actually has a longer opening and there is a bar down the middle of it. This doesn't have that bar, and the distance from here to here on the opening is actually less. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's less flow because it's a smaller hole. But in fact, what this is doing is keeping the air sealed to the rotors for longer. Remember, as the rotors turn, they press the air to the outside of the case. And right here, as soon as the rotor clears the case, it's going to discharge the air into the engine. In this case, it's hanging on to more air for longer before it discharges, and so that can be a benefit. Also, Blower Shop has found that this version helps with cylinder-to-cylinder distribution, so that's kind of the difference between the two blowers. The throttle doesn't open all the way.
Oh, I know. That bolt fell out.
That bolt fell out?
That bolt fell out last year at Drag Week. But I think this got put in, and then we never had wide open throttle after that.
The scientific method is now completely out the window. Remember I told you we were going to try and do an A/B test between the old supercharger and the new one? And then I showed you some little differences between the old one and the new one. Well, now there's way more. In addition to us adding this little spacer back here, we swung our throttle body in here and noticed that that spacer completely blocks off the airflow from this throttle body. While doing that, I also noticed that this throttle body doesn't even begin to go to wide open throttle because there is a little bolt on it that those guys changed at Drag Week last year that prevented that from happening. So once we realized that, we started looking at this gasket that has been between the throttle body and the supercharger the entire time. Then Darden says, I've seen turbocharged cars kill 20 PSI with a screen like that. And so we decided that we're not gonna run that screen anymore. But then, remember the problem with this blocking the throttle body? We realized that the blower shop had already given us a solution to that with this spacer. So now that spacer is gonna go there, this is gonna go there. So now we've changed the style of the discharge, the style of the inlet, the screen, the spacer, and having wide open throttle. So there's no more scientific method, but now we're gonna make a lot of horsepower, which is all we really care about, let's be honest.
Old throttle body, but with new wide open throttle.
Now, with 25% more throttle opening.
Blower swap is done. Now we're gonna fire it up, set the idle, and then get out of the way because this thing is gonna make some beans.
There we go, boy.
It's finally working.
That's some steam. I got bad news for you, Mr. Burger.
So yeah, she's happy.
This car has never made that much power. We're gonna make one more harrow pull. We're gonna put a little more timing in it. We're gonna take some fuel away and we're gonna rev the engine another 300 RPM because the last pull we stopped at about 6,900. We're now gonna rev it to 72. Most of the people standing around here think it's gonna make somewhere about 1140, 1150. Yeah, it will, and I'll be totally happy with that.
Yeah, baby.
That is beef.
We came in here with a car that made about 970 horsepower at the hub and about 850 foot-pounds of torque, and we are leaving with a car that makes 1,136 horsepower and 930 foot-pounds of torque. Car rips. We now have to put it back into street mode and then drive to Bakersfield, which is like 250 or 60 miles away.
That's a tomorrow story.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Not worried at all.
Right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yep.
Beers?
Yes.
Yes.
We can do that.
Let's go celebrate.
See ya.
This car rules. Well, it's day 4 of our adventure. Day 3 was incredible. However, changing the blower and the way the throttle body mounts, well, it necessitated a bigger hole in the hood and a taller hood scoop. So we came back to Andy Rawls' shop. Andy is a killer fabricator and designer and came up with the idea for this. Moment of truth. Oh, that looks evil.
Yeah.
All right.
Get out of my shop.
Yeah. Never return.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Great to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks a lot.
We have driven 68 miles since we left Andy Rawls' shop, and now we're broke-ish. I mean, nothing's falling out, but the clutch doesn't want to release, and so that makes it hard to sit in bumper-to-bumper SoCal traffic when the clutch doesn't want to release.
And I think the transmission needs to come out, and we need to remove a shim from behind the throwout bearing. Before we bother with all that rigmarole of tearing the transmission out and assuming it's the throwout bearing shim, we're going to go ahead and bleed the clutch to see if it's just air in the system. Up, down, and hold.
So it's either got no air gap or it wasn't moving enough before.
Well, if I do this, is there a gap?
Oh, you know what? I've got my little camera. I could stick in there and see.
Yep.
All right. Definitely an issue with the throwout bearing. So what we're gonna do is take this $30 Bluetooth wireless camera, shove it up through a tiny hole in the side of the transmission to see when it's released, is there a gap? We just bleed it and hit the road, and I think we'll be fine. If there is no gap, we're pulling the trans out and then taking a shim out from behind the bearing to give us a gap. Hey, David,
Yep.
when I tell you, go ahead and step on it.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Down and hold.
Let off.
Off.
I think it's up against it, and we need to pull a shim. Well, we don't know exactly what's going on. Maybe it's a combination of get the air out and adjust the pedal stop, and we'll be cool. We're gonna put it back down on the ground, fire it up, and take it around the block and see if it works better.
Coming down. Whoa.
Oh my God.
That was not good.
Tell me that didn't go through the oil pan.
It did not, but it is stuck between the axle and the tie rod. The jack didn't roll. Boy, that's dumb. Sorry about that.
It happens. Whew, it's gonna be a long night.
Can you pull the jack out? Fixed. That's not right.
Yeah, my foot's in the gas. It's still trying to move.
If you crank it right now, what happens? Yeah, it's moving the car. What we just found is that it's still dragging. When you have your foot all the way on the clutch, you put it in gear, it grinds. You put your foot on the clutch and crank it without starting it, and it pulls the car, so the clutch isn't fully disengaging. So the next thing he's gonna do is put a shorter bolt on the clutch stop so that the pedal has more travel to see if traveling the bearing more will disengage the clutch. However, the balance you need to play is that if you stroke the bearing too far, then it comes apart, the O-ring seal on the hydraulic bearing pops out, fluid drops everywhere, and it's game over. And even if we take it apart, then we might not be able to get the bearing back together. So that's where we're at. Listen to hear if it grinds in gear.
Much better.
That's kind of normal.
Yeah, I think we're good now.
That seems normal for a straight cut trans to me.
I don't think we have to take the trans out.
We don't think we have to take the trans out, or at least we're gonna make that decision another 5 or 10 miles down the road. Great. Oh, it's not squeaking anymore.
Yeah, it's happier. I think it's good.
We made it. So we're rolling into some like shishi little tiny hotel, like, what is it, Motel 6, something like that? And there's no parking lot there. And so we're gonna have to leave this on the street. And if it's still there in the morning, then you will see us at Famoso Raceway for the ultimate showdown versus my Model A. It's gonna be great.
Nobody told me there'd be no parking.
I'm advising you now.
I like this car again because it's really, really powerful.
It's been great. On the streets of Bakersfield, let's go! We made it. Blasphemy drove all the way from Chandler, Arizona to here, Famoso Drag Strip north of Bakersfield, California. Well, normally we rent the track, but this time we were invited to Hot Rod Garage Day. Hot Rod Garage is another show on the MotorTrend network, and once a year, they rent the track themselves and invite friends and family. So you're gonna see like 40 cars here, some of which are the Hot Rod Garage project vehicles. And they are gonna have a pause in the program so Finnegan and I can run side by side. So now we're here ready for the setup of Blasphemy versus my fraud, my 31 Model A Coupe. So this is gonna be good. We're prepping Finnegan's car right now. My car doesn't need a whole lot. My buddy Sam is here, who built the whole chassis on the thing. He's sort of handling the wrenching on the side. I'm gonna help Finnegan move over from street mode to race mode.
On the first day of this trip, we went to a drag strip and properly broke in a brand new set of Mickey Thompsons, but we also broke them. the inside of both tires were rubbing the inner fenders of the car, which is probably what caused it to go left every time I let the clutch out. And so we're switching tires. I now have a fresh set to put on, and fresh tires need to be broken. They're never as quick ET-wise as, you know, ones that have been broke in. And the fresh set is also smaller. They are not as wide as the ones that were on the car, so I'll have a little less traction. So for this first run, I'm just gonna let the clutch out and just cross my fingers it goes straight. If it goes straight, I'm happy. Then we'll work on the rest of it after. That was my first burnout across the starting line ever. Oh, that was so fun.
Finnegan's here for his very first hit. He's got the larger blower pulley on it, not the 1100 horsepower tune, but probably like the 1050 horsepower tune.
Okay, that was bad. Everything was going really well until I missed fourth gear.
Finnegan made his first pass, and it was a non-ET because it looked like the driver's door flew open. So that's going to be a big pucker. That was interesting. You missed fourth, and then someone said, no, his door flew open. He lifted. Which one happened?
Oh, both.
Both.
Both things happened. Yeah, I've never missed fourth. That was a new adventure for me. It was going so well. I was like, yeah. Oh. No.
So you got an 065 light, not bad. 135 60-foot time. So you want to go back and make another hit before they break for lunch?
I can't guarantee I'll get it right, but yeah, I want to go.
Cool, let's go. At least we don't have to pack a chute. That was better, 889 at 153 miles an hour. Now remember, this car's best ever is 852. His 60-foot was 1345. So pretty good. Now we're gonna take a quick break, probably fiddle with the car a little bit more. I'm guessing he's gonna want to put a smaller pulley on it. And we'll find out if he can do quicker than that.
889, 153.
Oh, on the little pulley. Oh, dude. We're gonna have a good race.
This is my 31 Ford Model A that's going to be running against Finnegan. You've never seen this car on Roadkill. It was built entirely on Roadkill Garage by my buddy Sam, who you'll see in the background, like helping me out with this thing, and also by Steve Dulcich and myself, and the engine by my buddy James Bostic. It's a 31 Ford Model A. It weighs 2,450 pounds. The engine is a 572 big block Chevy. It's actually the same heads, crank rods block that I used at Bonneville to run my fastest time ever. This thing has been 261 miles an hour at Bonneville. It makes 950 horsepower. It's got a Gearstar Power Glide, Mosier 9-inch, 410 gears, 31-inch rear slick from Mickey Thompson. So when you put that much power with this much lightness, you get a best ever ET right here at Famosa of 8.501 seconds at 151 miles an hour. Maybe it went 155 on that one. Here's what makes this race actually personal for me. Finnegan has supercharger, EFI, like strain gauge on the shifter, I think, all sorts of rocket science. I went exactly the opposite direction. This has no power adder. It's carbureted. It doesn't even have an electric fuel pump. It's a mechanical fuel pump. So even though they're both retro-looking cars, this is very much like new technology with boost versus old technology, all motor. The time has finally come.
Yes.
Make it 3 yards, my friend, and we'll have ourselves an automobile race. Boom. Head to head, you've been waiting for it. Blasphemy versus the F-Rod. Good luck. I need it.
Special guest host Steve Dulcich here for the Battle of the Roadkill Hosts. Who's gonna come out on top? I'm gonna be watching the action along with you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are off to the races. This is gonna be epic. 2 8-second roadkill cars lighting it up for the honor of the fastest car on roadkill. Here we go. At 150 miles an hour. Finnegan, however, had some kind of problem off the starting line.
All right, well, that didn't work. It just blew the tires off at the starting line. I feel like my brakes are dragging.
Something went wrong. Well, I don't know what just happened, but it wasn't good for Mike.
A couple of things were wrong with it when you took off.
I kept letting on and off the clutch, and the car didn't really want to move. And I went to the starting line. When it's time to go, I let the clutch out, and it just barbecued the tires. It didn't go anywhere.
Huh. My car was a turd too, 872 at 150, and I red lit, so you won.
872 is not a turd.
Just to give you the numbers here, Mike cut an 033 light, I red lit by 025. 2060 foot, 123. Your 8th mile time, I mean, you were just coasting at that point. So,
want to do it again?
What are we gonna do? How are you gonna fix your car?
I'm gonna take some compression out of the back shocks.
And I just found out I can't let go of the button as soon as I see the last amber. The trans brake didn't engage the first time. Oh, that was a bummer.
Freiberger took it, 871 to an 877. We're talking just 600ths of a second between the two cars. That is that close, but close doesn't count.
Are you okay?
Yeah, you?
My trans brake didn't work.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you beat me down here because I was like, where is he? And then I saw you there.
No, you were ahead of me the whole way because I messed up. I'm sure I didn't even get a time. Okay, honestly, I'm walking away disappointed because my car is slow and I feel like I never got a good pass on that last one. My trans brake button, you gotta really get your finger down in the hole, and I didn't. So I rolled deep, and then by the time I was back on the button, it was at the second amber, and then I left. But check this out, I do have the data right here. First of all, you won one and I won one.
Okay.
You won the first one because I red lit. Oh. I won the second one because you red lit.
I did?
Yes, you did.
Oh my God.
However, check this data. This is what saves the episode in my opinion because I'm annoyed with myself and my car. But look at this, 60 foot, me, 1297. You, 1294.
Oh.
Okay.
It got better.
And 8th mile, 5.539 to 5.590.
Oh.
Okay, so they ran the same to the 8th mile. I was a little bit quicker. Out the back, me, 8718, you 8775.
Oh, that would have been a good race.
And you went 154, I went 152. If we had both been on the tree, that would have been a great race.
Wow.
First, let me go to the negative. My car is 2/10 slow, and I was a disaster on the Christmas tree. Now let's go positive. We both ran 8s. You made more power than you ever have. You drove your car from Phoenix to here. We finally ran them both side by side. And if you bench race this ticket away from all of the reaction time garbage, they were really, really close, and it would have been a good race.
We're gonna have to do this again.
We have to do it again the right way. This was not that. Hemi in one piece is probably the biggest victory of the whole thing.
It really is. It's not on fire and the rods aren't laying on the ground. I'm good.
On this episode of Roadkill,
Finnegan's gonna have, yet again, his best day at work.
damn right.
You know, on Roadkill, we've pretty much proven that we can do anything and somehow it entertains somebody, even when we diss Lamborghinis. And so when we ran out of time to do an actual good show this time, we decided to go with gratuitous violence.
This will be the best show ever.
We needed a couple of parts cars for project vehicles that we're working on in the magazine. I was looking for a small block Chrysler and an automatic transmission for it. And then we also needed a full-size GM chassis for a body drop project that we want to do.
Freiberger's a busy guy, so he gave me the job of finding the cars. And the two cars I picked were dirt cheap. One was an 87 Buick Electra station wagon, the one that seats 9 people with the seat in the back that faces the wrong way so kids can yell at cars behind them. And the other one was a 1993 Dodge Ram conversion van. We decided to have some competitions with them. Before you see it, I just want you to pick one. The one on the left or the one on the right?
Left.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I see a van. Oh, I choked. I should have gone right. What's on the left? Wagon! Oh, dude, this is just like the Pontiac I had when I was a teenager. I own this. I've been in every dirt road in Southern California in one of these. This is mint. The headliner's not even falling out of it. Dude, I'm keeping this.
Everything works, even the cruise control. It seats 9.
We can't ruin this car. This is better than my daily driver.
Hey, check the horn. Trade
Very
horn.
familiar. It has a 700 R4 in it, dude. It has overdrive. Is this have an Oldsmobile in it, or is it a
307?
307 Olds?
Yep.
Yeah, in the Buick.
It makes a whopping 140 horsepower, and this thing weighs 4,300 pounds.
Oh, I don't care. I can throw this thing around like no tomorrow. You choked. Show me the van, though.
You ready for this? Porno van. Check it out. Captain's chairs. The rear couch folds into a bed.
Sweet.
It's got a TV, a VCR.
It's got a lot of DNA.
Supposedly 220 horsepower back in the day. This is over 5,000 pounds.
This could not be more perfect. This is awesome.
Are you ready? Bonk.
Nice. I feel like I'm in Vegas. Oh, this is going to be genius. Let's get to it. The first thing I think we should do is drag race him to see who's actually got more power.
I think I'm going to lose that one, but whatever.
I'm going to run into him right now. Oh, this thing has a broken motor mount. I normally have a lot of respect for old cars. The idea of bashing on these was kind of bugging me, but the truth is, conversion vans are worthless. We would have never done anything with them.
Yeah, baby.
And the Buick wasn't as good as it looks, and it won't pass smog, which in California makes it worthless. Okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna honk 3 times. On the third one, go, and the first one through those 2 cones wins.
Your mother. Come on, man.
See ya!
Dude, I want one more lap. I guarantee you don't get there before I do. I got something special.
Are you gonna neutral slam it?
Hell yeah.
Ready?
I pulled the only move a cheating SOB would. I pit maneuvered him so he couldn't finish the race.
Oh, not cool.
If you don't finish, you can't win. There's no better feeling in life than watching your boss loop out a car after you've crashed into him on purpose. I don't think that's gonna buff out.
The magazine has a permanent autocross setup at El Toro that we use for vehicle testing, but it's new. And so we're not that familiar with it, and we both had to take some practice laps.
And then we were gonna do 2 time laps. The best lap time wins the deal.
I won't jag you on the time if you don't jag me.
I don't need any extra help.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3. Yeah! Get her done! He is rocking the van! comes. Got it. Dude! That was impressive. 128, and it looked brilliant.
Dude, I can do better than that. It's a severe lack of traction in the corners of this thing, unhooking all that brute torque, just spinning the tires.
Oh, if you had a posi, you'd be unstoppable.
Dude.
There's a little bit of fear in me right now.
You should be afraid. This next run, I'm letting it all hang out.
Okay, I'm ready.
After the first lap, I knew I was losing time in some of the corners where the thing just didn't have any traction. And so I made a few corrections on lap number 2, which I felt pretty good about.
Ooh, he's picking up the pace. I think he's ahead. Oh, dude! 126, 2 seconds down. That's awesome, but I can beat it.
I had Chinese for lunch. You know what my fortune cookie said?
I lose.
You're gonna loop this bitch out at the end of the track down there.
If only.
But good luck though, okay, ready?
Yep.
Let's go. Oh, that hubcap's coming off.
Well, lose. No, I lost by 0.8. Ah!
No, I went 126.
Yeah, but you went 128 the first time. This thing is gutless and the steering is really slow, and I got lost, so.
I blame the driver completely. I think the car is perfect.
I'm just gonna take the parking brake off now.
Don't make me get in here and whoop your ass in your own car, all right?
Okay, yeah, I can't let that happen again. That was bad.
Being that I'm giving you almost 1,000-pound weight advantage. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, he looks smoother. He doesn't look as good as I looked, but he looks smoother. 1 minute. This is not good. He's picked up a lot of time.
Now, my second lap, when I actually went around the course like I was supposed to and kind of had the hang of it, I ran a 119, 9 seconds quicker than my first lap. And on an autocross, 9 seconds is light years.
Holy. Guy picks up 9 seconds. What, did you find your balls or something in the last turn? 119.3.
Thank you.
I want to go again. That ain't fair. 5 practice laps.
And so, of course, I won the autocross.
All the autocross really proved was that Freiberger had a better handling car. I wanted to do an event that would showcase who's the better driver. So next we moved on to our obstacle avoidance challenge.
Here's the plan. Rockford, the old reverse 180. We're gonna speed down this way, flip the car around. The goal is maximum action through the boxes, and then you gotta get through the 2 cars without hitting them.
Thread the needle with the van.
That's it.
I like it.
I'm going first.
All right.
The key to doing a Rockford is to nail it in reverse. And what you want to do is lift off the throttle and spin the steering wheel at the same time. And the car will come around, and just at the right moment, you have to go from reverse to drive.
So Freiberger set the rules up for this deal, and yeah, he did the 180, but he hit the wooden car.
Man, I had good speed, nailed the boxes. I grazed one of the cars, but I still say that was a good pass.
I've never done a Rockford. Freiberger had to tell me, you're gonna do a 180 and then drive out of it. No big deal, I can do that. I'm dumb.
Okay, here I go.
Weak!
I couldn't see out the back window, and I just wanted to make sure the thing would spin around without tipping over.
So we set it up again, and I went for pass number 2, and I was being a little bit too cautious that time because I didn't want to hit the car again.
The guy that set up the rules failed miserably. Freiberger hit the wooden car both times he tried to Rockford through that thing.
You know, Finnegan likes to make up the rules as he goes along, except for when they're my rules and then they're firm.
That was Freiberger's rule. Got to follow Freiberger's rule. Yeah, the first Rockford I did, that was kind of a test just to see if it would flip over. It was weak, but the second one, bitchin', went all the way through there with style, without hitting either car. I mean, I threaded the needle with this big-ass van.
I don't know. Van wins.
Who won the Rockford Challenge? This guy.
You suck. Here's why. I had to teach you the autocross, teach you how to drag race, and teach you how to Rockford. I won.
Do you know where you are right now?
I'm in the winning position.
You taught me nothing.
I'm in the pole position, dude.
Oh my God, let's go through this again. Autocross, 5,000 pounds, 4,000 pounds. You won by a few seconds. Drag race, you need to learn to drive better. Because if you tried to pit maneuver me, I would have avoided it.
And then in the Rockford, after teaching you how to do it and you failed, I completely
Wait. If I remember correctly, Rockford, you hit a car, I threaded the needle with a van, a Dodge Ram 250.
Okay, we have to pick a winner because the winner gets to decide what we're going to do tomorrow. I won.
I win.
No.
I win.
Coin flip.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Rock, paper, scissors. Ready?
Rock, paper, scissors. You lose.
Oh, you pick.
Suck it. We're going off-roading.
Off-roading?
Yes.
I'm down with that. Right now, out of here. We packed up at El Toro and the next day headed out to the Mojave Desert.
So at El Toro, we had 3 challenges.
And now we're here in the Mojave Desert because we're going to do one of my favorite things ever, which is trashing passenger cars on dirt roads. I'm going to challenge you to actually not break the van on the very first competition because I want to have some fun today.
Limitations.
Yep.
I'll try. No guarantees, though.
The first thing that we're going to do is the rally cross, which is like an autocross except for it's on dirt. It's sort of a small road rally. But we're going to change it up a little bit because we're going to do it side by side. Each of us wants to have the inside lane, so we're the first one to the first left-hand turn. And so to shoot it out on who's going to get that, we're going to have a head-to-head. Not a tug-of-war, but a head-to-head.
And I'm counting on the Ram and all its might to put the wagon in the dirt. I don't mind losing the head-to-head, so I may just put it in reverse and see if I can make him crash.
While he's in the middle of stuffing a tumbleweed in my car, I am figuring out how to win this head-to-head thing. And the thing to do is to just stand on the brakes and wait for him to start spinning his tires. And as soon as he does, his van gets easier to push because it's breaking traction. And so that's how I'm going to win that deal and get pole position.
We're not tug-of-warring, we're pushing.
Oh!
Losing. Go around.
That's pretty funny.
I'm going to push you all the way to Mexico.
My plan completely fell down when we decided that we were actually going to hit each other at speed and keep going. I had no opportunity to step on the brakes, and the van had the weight advantage. I was history.
I had no strategy for the push-a-war, so I just floored it and hit him, and all the weight of the van just pushed that poor little wagon across the finish line. I kicked his ass.
We couldn't afford orange cones, but we did find pink strollers. We're going to use them to mark our course.
I'm a little freaked out that Freiberger used baby strollers to set up the course. I don't know what that says about him because I dropped out of psych class after 2 weeks in college.
I thought it was appropriate. We're children. It works. This is pretty soft. Do you think we might have an issue? Not the first time.
I think getting stuck just makes it more fun.
Okay. Can I take one of these home?
They're not very sturdy strollers.
I have a feeling that won't matter. Not many strollers withstand 5,000 pounds of van. I meant to actually Google the nearest hospital before we got here. Surprisingly, we have a signal, so
No, wait. If you know where the hospital is, we'll need it.
No,
I'm thinking if you don't know where it is, we're fine.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
I thought if we know where it is, we don't need it.
That's how I get through my whole life.
All right, let's just race.
All right.
My race strategy in the rallycross is simply to be faster. I mean, we already know that the Buick is physically faster than the van. That thing's gonna wallow. I know how to drive on dirt, he doesn't, so. You know what though? I just realized something. It is so loose and silty out there, he is gonna be chasing my dust the whole time. Oh, he's screwed. Okay, side by side, just standard bash and thrash?
Yeah, first one to the end wins.
Is there any penalty for running over baby carriages?
But we're not doing this for time. I don't know what kind of penalty you could give other than
true.
Being shamed afterward.
Yeah, but you're shameless about cheating. No cutting corners.
The only corner I'm going to be cutting off is the front end of your car, dude. Don't worry about it.
We should mark a no contact rule until halfway down this.
Oh, come on. You got horsepower advantage. Don't wuss out now. Let's do
You call
this.
that horsepower? Safety first, you know.
I hope the VCR and television in this thing doesn't hit me in the dome. So how do you want to do it? On a count of 3 or something?
Sure. Except I know you're leaving on 2.
1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah. I ended up nerfing him, sending him off the track.
The van spins left and all I see is a giant mound of dirt. And I braced myself and said, oh crap. The van launches into the air and bouncing a couple times. I'm dazed. The van's making weird noises. My neck's killing me.
And I went and smashed the strollers for the win. Best day at work ever? Oh my God.
Boom, something hits me. It's him, jackass.
Look at the distance. Look where you landed versus where you launched.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Well,
see, look, here's the landing point, but I don't even see where you launched.
I cleared the doubles, dude.
Did you clear the doubles? There's no way.
Yeah.
No.
Telling
Where
you.
did it hit? Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah,
Look.
dude, I cleared the doubles.
Look, you did. You cleared the doubles with the van.
Yeah.
Look, this is where the bumper caved in. There's your tire marks.
Yeah.
You left ground here.
Nothing in here.
Nothing in here. This is all good. Happy critters, life.
And then look,
look at this.
It lands here and bounces. Look,
Wow.
Look where it landed the second time, dude.
That is distance for a Dodge van. And they ask why we're not entertained by a Lamborghini.
Dude.
It's because we're 14 years old.
Can't believe I lost that race. A little sore. Still runs though. Badass automobile. Thank you, Dodge, for building the Ram.
Now, was that really... If you thought that was good, watch what we're gonna do now.
Yeah, I feel a little sore, but I'm ready to go. The first turn of the rallycross, just to the inside of it, had a giant lip that actually ended up being perfect for launching these things for the jump contest. So what we did was we just hauled ass down the straight, cut the corner a little sharper than we had in the rallycross, and just boom. Oh shit. Oh, my neck. And although it wasn't as big as when we jumped the Bronco, you know, a couple episodes back, the bounce was just as hard. My back is still sore. Oh shit.
This is the point where judgment really just went straight off the cliff. Because we bought that Buick to take the chassis out from under it, but at the same time, it seemed like a really good idea.
You can't do that again.
Was it quality?
It was good, but the back wheels aren't off the ground. You got to go bigger.
What?
Yeah. I bounced like 6 times.
Did you get back wheels off the ground?
Oh, dude, I don't know, but my spine's killing me.
Oh, yeah.
Go again.
No,
you were this close from having the back wheels off the ground. It was nice.
That hurt.
Dude, the van killed it in the jump. I don't even think the wagon left the ground. And the van probably got more air at the beginning of the jump, the bounce, and the landing than the wagon did the whole time it jumped in the air. Even though David's car really didn't leave the ground, you could see David in the car damn near hit his head on the headliner, so I know he was just as sore as I was after that jump.
In case you hadn't figured it out by now, this episode was for really our entertainment and not yours. And what really entertained us, and I'm not sure why, was to bring 24 watermelons out to the desert with us and throw it in the back of these vehicles and just see if they would smash each other while we were thrashing down a dirt road.
I don't know who came up with this idea, but after we killed our backs jumping these things, we decided to go as fast as we could down a rut-filled road.
If you really want to make the watermelon thing justifiable, I'm going to call it science. This was really about checking the plush ride quality on the van versus the wagon. And the challenge was to see which vehicle would smash the fewest amount of watermelons.
So what we're doing now is the scientific water smash. Never mind. Ready?
David went first, and the wagon actually looked like it soaked up the bumps pretty good. Although you could see watermelons in the windows bouncing up and down, which was pretty funny.
I didn't break a single watermelon. It's genius. Once again proving the ultimate off-road vehicle.
And then when I went, I'm surprised the van didn't crash because it was all kinds of sideways and up in the air and just watermelons flying everywhere, and it's remarkable they didn't break.
It turns out watermelons don't come apart when they're bouncing around in the back of a van or a wagon.
I don't know who won these competitions, but this was more about going out and having fun in the desert, and once again, I'll say it, best day at work ever.
By the end of the day, it was 108 degrees and we were dying, but we had a blast.
We really didn't destroy either one of these cars other than the sheet metal, so we're gonna go home. We've still got 2 good cars to use for parts.
And if those weren't parts cars at the beginning of our competition, they sure were now.
I think I broke my spleen.
This time in Roadkill, it is mini bikes and the muscle truck, and we race them all.
And there aren't any Priuses in this episode.
Episodes ago, Finnegan completely surprised me with that little Jeep hot rod, and this time it's him who has no idea that I've got these little Honda Trail 70s in the garage waiting for him.
Are you ready?
Dude, I'm excited and scared.
The big secret is in the garage.
That's not a very big garage.
No, it's not. But, you know, big enough.
I'm utterly clueless. No way. Those are awesome.
Yep.
We're gonna die.
What do you think?
These are cool.
That's yours. That one I borrowed from Joe, who runs the mini bike reunion show. This is a 70, I think.
And this is street legal?
And that one's a 78. Yeah, they're the smallest bikes I could find that had plates on them.
I'm glad we're not riding doubles.
Well, you never know what could happen. Here's the plan. We are going to ride these back to the shop, fix the muscle truck, drive it down to San Diego to Verona to race. It's going to be too fast for the drag strip on its very first pass, so when we get thrown out, we can go head to head.
All right. I mean, I like it. I like that a lot.
Let's see if they run. Oh, yours fires right up. Now it smells flooded.
Come on, man, get out of the way.
It's in gear.
Maybe it's the flip-flops. Maybe the flux capacitor needs recharging.
Like down the hill here.
This is where Freiberger gets killed in the street. Hey, look at that, he got it running. That's a start. Now we can have an episode.
Oh, speed wobbles. Got a little speed wobble. Oh, here comes an actual motorcycle. My back brake is killer. Watch this. Uh-oh. Furniture truck. Oh! Look out, dude. Oh, we're so dead. Stop. Oh, shit. Hold on. This is going to be a race, right? Ooh, I hope I'm in first instead of second. Ready? Come on, baby, go! Oh, man. Am I pulling you bad? I feel like I could catch you, but I don't want to die. Victory! Making the best. Yeah, come on, girl. Go, go, go. I hate to break it to you, but I'm actually closing distance. I am catching you. Oh, man. The arrow was all I needed. Whoa! Death!
Hey, are we gonna get gas at any time?
Oh, yeah, we should probably do that. I'm guessing it's bad to all of a sudden lose power in traffic on one of these. This one look good? Oh! I pulled in trying to do a brake stand in the gas right here, but I'm doing the brake stand, I burn through the gas and it hooks up and does the full wheelie. It was really hard while I'm in the wheelie to concentrate on turning the gas the wrong way. It was fun.
I rely on you, to constantly show me what not to do. Get a mini bike? Don't do that.
We mobbed 15 miles north to the Hot Rod Garage in El Segundo, California to revive the muscle truck, which had been sitting for over 2 years.
That was fun. And we lived. Remember the last time we drove this thing?
Yeah, we spent more time on the side of the road than we did in the truck.
It was sagged out so bad that the tires started to rub, the pinion angle got bad, the drive shaft crammed itself into the gear vendors.
I know the answer to this, but we could at least try to crank it before we put the charger on it.
Oh, you're delusional. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of dead.
The muscle truck is a 73 Chevy short bed. In around 2006, my buddy Chad and I dropped in that LS6 engine, and it has a turbo 400 and a gear vendor's overdrive, Ford 9-inch rear end, 513 gears, it's got a spool in it. Should be pretty quick, but we've never really gotten it down the track despite trying a bunch of times. The last time was 2 years ago, and it sat for that long. So everything that we're dealing with here is essentially undoing the neglect. All right, making the list. Bad gas. Fuel pump and filter, air shocks, funky wiring, dead battery, nitrous.
I'm draining the really old gas out of this, and it smells horrible. It's sat so long that the red anodizing, that's what it should look like. That's what this one looks like now. It's turned pink.
That's not even pink, that's bare.
And that is sitting in the shade under the truck. It's not like it's exposed to the sun or anything.
I am slowed down on the air shocks because the shock pin here is too big of a diameter for the steel sleeve that's in the shock. And that sleeve is vulcanized to the rubber.
I say we just cut the mounts off and weld new mounts on. It'll be quicker than going to the parts store and trying to find the right bushings.
We have to go to the parts store to get new mounts or even bolts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at that point we could try and make a solution to this.
Well, you know what? We need a battery, we need a gas, so we might as well go to the parts store.
On the mini bikes.
We could. You can carry a battery home on your mini bike?
Sure.
Right in your lap.
traffic?
I know, seriously.
I love this bike.
Chicks are digging us. You can tell by the way she's averting her eyes. I think she just doesn't want to actually make eye contact.
I think that's a dude.
Really? With boobs?
He needs to work out.
Whoa! We both did the swerve. Okay.
You could probably sit on that, huh?
Probably. Oh, yeah. Nothing could go wrong with that.
Maybe we should, like, crisscross another one.
Oh, you think?
Oh, this is comfortable. Cars. That I feel safer now than I did before I had a battery strapped to my back.
Nope.
But, like, not even close?
Nope. Same exact problem.
Yeah, I would just try pressing the sleeve out.
Just help that one out.
See, the press is gonna force that sleeve out of the shock pushing and into that deep wall impact socket. Look at that. Almost as if we knew what we were doing.
Yeah. That only took far longer than it should have. I threw this truck together a few years ago with literally just stuff I had sitting around, but I haven't driven the truck a whole lot, and it's been dead for a couple years, so I'm really looking forward to firing it up again. Okay, first we can check fuel leak. I don't know if it's picked it up yet. Okay, yeah, it's got pressure. Oh, stop. Rear float sunk. Lot of gas inside the motor. Like, don't crank it.
Can you beat it with a screwdriver?
The float's stuck all the way at the bottom and it's trying to fill up the float bowl. It comes out there. This is the surefire fix for that.
Except when it doesn't work.
Give it a shot. Must be fixed. It's got way too much gas in it to crank it over.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to let it evaporate, go eat, and come back. There you go. It's alive! It's got 4-inch exhaust with bullet mufflers about that big. Pretty good for not running for like 2 years. You want to drive it in the morning?
Sure.
Well, we got the thing running. That's most of the way there. That's roadkill good enough, right? It's morning. We got the thing running pretty good last night. We have a few more little things to do, but first we're gonna go run and do a test drive. And then we're gonna run down to Barona Drag Strip in San Diego, which is a little 8th mile deal. Kind of podunk, but very cool. Test drive?
Yeah.
This thing has the best exhaust ever.
This is a full manual valve body, right?
Yeah. Dude!
Oh my god, that's great.
You can't do that in the parking lot.
Oh, I forgot. Dude, this thing's badass.
Oh yeah, we gotta fix that.
Yeah, it's not happy. It's got a pretty serious wicked bog at part throttle. And it could be the timing, could be the fuel.
Oh, dude, look how rich the mixture was. They were out 4 turns.
I have all of the stuff we need to tune this in my shop.
Which we also need to go to for the computer, right?
Yeah. Much better.
On the rev limiter.
Much better.
After a minor tune-up at the stop sign, we packed up our bikes and racing stuff and hit the road to Finnegan's shop in Orange County, which is on the way down to Barona Drag Strip.
Allow me to play for you the music of my people. That never gets old. All right, getting on the freeway.
No.
Moment of truth.
Drive shaft vibration, here we come.
No side mirror.
No real brakes, but it sounds bitchin'.
Yes. I think we're okay, dude.
Feels pretty good.
Even with the gear benders. This is 26, 2700.
It's got 513s in it.
What are we doing? This is probably 60 miles an hour?
Yeah. 513s are good. You always have that passing power.
Yeah. That's loud.
It's the greatest.
You ever think, like, you're driving past normal people right now that are just driving around in cars that are completely stock?
Yep.
They just get in their car and turn the key and drive, and all they're thinking about is where they're getting to.
They're appliances.
They are appliances.
What else explains the fact that they're all just shapeless blobs painted silver?
If you can't pull up to a gas station and strike up a conversation with your fellow man over your car, what are you doing? We are at my shop right now, my happy place. It's full of engine parts and drag boats, and we're gonna move this one out of the way just to make it a little easier to work in here.
On the way over here, it was kind of burbling on the freeway. It has 513 gears in it, and even with the overdrive, it's running at 2,600 RPM. Even at that RPM, you can hear it sort of missing. We're just gonna pull it off and have a look. From sitting for so long with that bad new ethanol gasoline, it literally filled the carburetor with like this green mold. This is the carburetor that was on the Titanic.
It's as if you parked this thing at the bottom of a lake.
Yeah.
Look at that. That boat goes in the water. It's never had this much oxidation inside of the carburetors.
I'm just blaming modern gas. Gas that you buy today will be dead in 6 months. Gas that you pull out of a tank of a car that's been sitting there 20 years will usually run. Who's to blame? Obama! Stop, shut it off. The corrosion on the little plastic float bowl sight screw completely wiped out the thread, so that just popped out and is leaking everywhere. It's like, this is wonderful. I'm trying to find a carburetor that has the sight screw that we need. But see, all the modern carburetors tend to have a glass sight in them instead, so. No!
Well, our sight plug was stripped out. So we're making a new one out of a bolt that's too long, an O-ring, 2 nuts to use as spacers, some silicone to seal the whole deal, and then Fabrica's gonna thread that into the bowl of the carburetor. So that is roadkill engineering right there.
Okay, fire up that garbage.
Sounds good. It's as if he's bipolar. Nothing he owns has a nice paint job on it, but suddenly he's cleaning the engine compartment of this crappy old truck.
You know, the thing is, this truck, even though it looks bad in all these different colors, it's really pretty clean. Totally rust-free. The frame was all fresh and powder-coated when I put it together. So it has potential, it just looks kind of rough. We were really hoping to go drag racing today, but this debacle with the carburetor slowed us down a bunch. The good news is that the drag strip is holding their test and tune both Saturday and Sunday, so we might get down there today, but even if we don't, we're gonna get to run tomorrow. Last night we made it into town, but it's about half an hour from town to this drag strip. This is Verona Drag Strip, which is a little 8-mile on an Indian reservation here inland of San Diego, California. It's a really rustic track, but the people are cool. There's a huge variety of cars. Today is pretty much just a grudge match test and tune type day, so we won't be going heads up with anybody. I'm just looking for that 735 ET so that we can get thrown out for having no roll bar, which will then give us an excuse to race the mini bikes. Well, after finishing up some burnouts in the morning, naturally we were like 2 hours late to the drag strip, and we went straight to the tech inspection line.
The ground strap from here somewhere.
Oh, good call, yeah. I don't know if I would let it run if I owned the drag strip, but still plenty happy to drive it. Good to go.
I can't believe we made it through 10. David's getting rushed to the starting line right now. They just snuck him in ahead of a bunch of other cars. We're running NA right now and on street tires, so no idea how quick this thing will go, but there's no way it's going to run a 735 and get him kicked out. 857 and 82. We're a long ways away from getting kicked out. We got a long way to go.
I hit the rev limiter.
Yeah, we heard it.
Either the tack is way wrong or something.
I can move it up. You want to stay on these tires or put the slicks on?
Slicks.
Okay, so put the slicks on, raise the rev limiter, and go again.
Right.
All right, cool.
These are Mickey Thompson ET streets. They're actually DOT legal to drive on the street, but decided not to because they're really thin. They puncture pretty easy. And with the spool in the truck, they just make it handle even weirder.
The rev limiter for this motor is set at 6,500 because it's got a hydraulic roller cam. You can't wing it too high. But he was saying that the tack only read $6 grand when it happened. So if the tack's reading low, that's a problem. I'm gonna move the rev limiter up just in case, a few hundred RPM, give him a little more room.
What I'm working with here is the Caltrax bars, which are the ultimate traction device for leaf springs. I am tightening them up so they will actually be functional.
This is gonna be our second pass. If this goes well enough, then I'm saying next pass is gonna be on the bottle.
It's a pretty good burnout. All right, come on, truck. It ran an 840. It's going to need nitrous if he has any chance of reaching his goal today. There you go. She's clean.
It was time to break out the nitrous, but in standard Roadkill style, I didn't bring everything that was needed. I'm on the hunt for either a Dash 4 bottle nut, which is smaller than this, or a solenoid inlet fitting, which is larger than this. You have a spare Dash 4 bottle nut? Because I have a Dash 6 with a Dash 4 line. How about a fitting like that that has a Dash 6 on it? Nope. Thanks. I knew before I asked. Or a dab of Teflon sealer? I don't know, you tell me.
Hope that works.
Awesome. Thank you very much. After 3 days of prepping for this, finally our very first nitrous pass. Hopefully I can put this together because the day is getting short. We might only get 1 or 2 runs.
There we go. I think the tires are clean now. All right, well, that was worth 0.2 of a second.
That was a lot of tire spin.
How far?
All the way down the track.
You got out of the groove a little.
Yeah, oh, it was a mess.
Last hit, he basically had 100% of the nitrous within 1.5 seconds of going full throttle, and the truck was skating all the way down the track because it was just spinning the tires. So we just used the progressive timer to delay it. He's going to have 100% of the nitrous 3 seconds after he hits full throttle. Should give him more traction, should go quicker. Moment of truth. This might be the last pass we get.
Okay, nitrous is on.
Wow. Oh my God, we just picked up almost a full second. He's gonna be stoked.
752 at 93 miles an hour. Yeah! Perfect. Bitchin'.
You know, people ask how many episodes can you make with leftover vehicles that Freiburger has sitting around? So what can we possibly do to top it? Drag out more junk from the Freiburger fleet. Yep, it never ends. I needed to run a 750 or a 735 to get thrown out of this place, but it was getting hot and lap after lap, we just could not improve that 753. And we ran out of time to race the mini bikes, at least on that day. We are going to run these things from here to the top of the parking lot and back.
Oh, sneaky.
Yeah. Oh, dusty up here.
I almost ate the front end of a Buick or a Monte Carlo or whatever the hell that was.
That was fun.
That's the best day of work ever. The best part about going to the auto parts store is all the crazy stuff you're going to see in the parking lot. This is a mid-80s IROC Camaro done up in a Twix motif, but that's not the cool part. There's an alligator on the dash. Look at it. The cup holder is nice. I made one of the greatest things you've ever done.
Yeah, they hold big gulp too.
Like, I know you made a baby and everything, but that cup holder's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's right at the perfect spot for the reach.
If you're ever gonna lay claim to creating something in your lifetime, I don't know. I don't know if you go, my son, or this cup holder that's hand fabbed. I mean, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, edited Hot Rod Magazine for 15 years, but cup holder,
right?
Wow! On this episode of Roadkill, it is all about wrecking Corvettes.
That's not gonna buff out.
In February of 2014, a giant sinkhole opened up underneath the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And it swallowed 8 Corvettes. They're worth like jillions of dollars each, and that is the most roadkill thing that ever happened to a bunch of museum Corvettes. So we figured we needed to check it out. We flew into Florida and tried to pick up the junkiest Corvette that we could so that we could road trip it all the way to Kentucky and check out that sinkhole and have a look at the Corvette assembly line while we were there.
My mission was to find Freiberger and I transportation from Florida to Kentucky. So of course, I went right to Craigslist and looked for the very worst Corvette I could find.
Hey.
Jamie Hannon owned a 75 Corvette that he had bought 6 years ago, found a bunch of rust, and then gave up on this restoration project. And he figured this is the perfect car for roadkill. It's got paint on it.
Dude, this thing is nice. I'd never seen this car before we got there, and I'm thinking, man, this doesn't look that bad. But then we pulled the plastic off, and yeah, this thing was definitely roadkill. The interior was completely gone, and what was there either came out of a Jeep or was completely rusted into the ground. So what's actually the dilemma here? Does it run?
Well, there's no windshield, so...
There's one window in the state of Florida. We've called everywhere. It's in Orlando.
It's that hard to find a Corvette windshield? Wow. Oh, this is cheating. We can leave now.
Oh, this is the nicest car with no windshield I've ever driven. So we're checking out the Corvette, and in walks Don Schumacher. The Don. Hi.
How you doing?
Holy crap, that's Don Schumacher.
If you don't know who Don Schumacher is, that means you're probably not an NHRA fan, because this guy's been around since the mid-60s, racing stuff like the Stardust funny cars, and today he is the single biggest owner in top fuel teams in the National Hot Rod Association. This guy Jamie is one of Schumacher's best friends. They go fishing together all the time. He mentions that he's going to the Las Vegas NHRA race the next weekend.
I'm heading to Vegas on Thursday.
And he invites us to just come by the pits and hang out, park our car in the pits and everything. We can make this thing go to Vegas. Screw the Corvette Museum. Let's go.
We qualify Friday and Saturday, and eliminations are on Sunday. You're welcome into the racetrack. Just send me a text and I'll arrange for tickets and hospitality and some good meals.
We're either going to the Corvette Museum in Kentucky or maybe drag racing in Las Vegas because Don Schumacher just showed up here.
On the floor.
Yeah. All right, so we need to get some calipers.
Wow, that's real bad.
Oh, spinning tires.
Did you see the steering wheel like it's doing this?
Oh yeah, it telescopes.
It telescopes, and when you take off, it comes back towards you. As soon as we got on the street, I rolled a stop sign because the brakes on the Corvette were absolute garbage, and immediately I get pulled over for the second time on Roadkill. Hey, officer.
You know, there's a stop sign back there. You got to stop at those, okay?
This time the cop was pretty cool, though, and he let us go. He just said, get this junk off the street and pull it right back from where you found it and never have it be on a public road again. Yeah, little did he know. Before we can go anywhere, the Corvette does need a little bit of work. It hasn't been on the road in about 6 years, and it seems like it runs and drives pretty good. We did a test drive out there. The problem is, the brakes are really, really bad. Look at all that brake fluid all over the rotor. This is the great thing about Roadkills. People ask, what is the show really about? What do you do? We don't know. We show up to do one thing, and all of a sudden the plan changes. In this case, completely unexpectedly, Don Schumacher shows up, and we decide to go to Las Vegas instead of Bowling Green, Kentucky. We have no idea if we're actually going to pull it off. We need to drive something like 2,600 miles, 36 hours to get to Las Vegas here from Florida, in a Corvette that hasn't run in 6 years, that needs a brake job, that has no interior, in the rain with no windshield.
Check it out, I found the windshield. Oh yeah, it's gonna be perfect. Here's the deal, our new Corvette doesn't have a windshield, and we can't find one within 3 hours of where we're at. So we're gonna make one out of a piece of acrylic that we got from the hardware store, trace it with a Sharpie, cut it out with a jigsaw, tape it in place, and whatever else is leaking, we're just gonna cover up with garbage bags and tape because it's raining, it's probably snowing, and we need to get this car on the road.
Custom. Fixed. He's going to put just a couple of tech screws in the windshield right now to keep it from blowing out of the car while we're driving. We change the oil, bleed the brakes, hit the road, right?
In theory. This is so nice now that after we put the factory trim back over the Gorilla Tape, I may go back here and slice the excess off, you know, just because we're that high end here at Roadkill.
All right, now the big question is, how am I going to mount our tack? When it comes to zip tie craftsmanship, I'm hard to beat. Pretty much the renowned expert. Do you like the tension arrangement here?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's sturdy.
The general consensus here is that we may not make it in 3 days to Vegas, and we needed some good luck. And I spotted this in the rafters here. And how can a bald eagle mounted to, what is that, a trophy? But how can this not be good luck? You could run for president in this car.
All right. Westbound and down.
So after a quick brake job, oil change, no tune-up at all, we left Jamie behind, jumped in his Corvette, and headed for Las Vegas. Vegas, baby, Vegas. I think we're gonna make it.
Tack doesn't work, actually.
Is that on the floor?
Oh, yeah. That's floored. When we hit the road, we did the quick math and realized we were going to have to drive 12 hours just on this day in order to get to Vegas on time. So we had no time to spare. And that's when the Turbo 400 completely gave up, ruining all hope of getting to Vegas in time. How come it's our nicest car and it went the shortest distance? Actually, the Charger didn't go very far either, but it was fixable. This isn't fixable.
Fewest amount of zip ties on this one, that's the problem.
Yeah. No, this would be us going on Craigslist to try and find another vehicle.
Or we get a trans.
That's a lot of time.
Even if we find a transmission, by the time we change it, there's no way we're getting to Vegas in time for this race.
We're probably going back to Plan A and heading up to the Corvette Museum, but that's only if we could get this thing fixed. We're loaded up on the trailer. Jamie, who gave us the car, is hunting up a transmission. We're gonna see if we can get it swapped out tonight.
You ever towed a Corvette with a bald eagle on the back before?
We ended up towing the Corvette back to Jamie's shop, where at least he softened the blow with a few beers, and he also brought in a bunch of friends to help us and a guy who had found a used Turbo 400 transmission somewhere in his stockpile. And so we jammed on it. We got the car up on a lift, did an R&R on the transmission, and by the time we were done, it was like midnight. The U-joints in this thing are absolutely destroyed. They're all notchy and loose and junky and lost. We have the new Turbo 400 here, but it looks like somebody crammed a metric nut onto the shaft for the shifter, and so we're trying to cut some new threads onto it.
So we left for Nevada 12 hours ago, blew up the transmission 10 miles down the road. These nice folks found us a used one. We've got our old converter on here, but brand new U-joints. And we're about to get back on the road. For where, I have no idea.
We had a running driving vet, but still no hope of making it to Las Vegas. The next morning, we were stoked again. We were Corvette Museum bound in our perfectly good 75 Corvette.
This car is really not that comfortable.
No. So we stopped for some tourist trap action, and the thing about Florida is that virtually every gas station overloads you with Gator stuff.
So a while ago, we were at an auto parts store, and we see this third-gen Camaro. Amazing car. This flawless paint job, said Twix on the side. Something everyone should have, you know? The best part about that car was that it had a alligator print interior and a real alligator molded into the top of the dashboard. Homeboy's got an alligator on his dash. Look at it. David fell in love with it, and I think he's trying to bite that guy's rhyme because he just bought a gator head and zip-tied it to our dashboard. I think we're setting trends here. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Call it the Boogie Nights Corvette or the AARP Corvette?
I was going to try and find you a big gold chain.
The great thing about Roadkill is I get to get out and see the country and some family members. It just so happened that our route to Kentucky took us right through Georgia, where my brother lives.
It's been 9 hours on the road today, none of them warm. We're outside of Georgia now. We're in Atlanta? We're in Ackworth, Georgia. And a few episodes ago, we met Finnegan's dad in the middle of nowhere when we happened to be in Arkansas.
Hey!
This time, we're dropping in on his brother and his mom.
I pretty much won't have to get her a Christmas gift after this.
I dressed especially homeless for this.
You totally look homeless. So once again, we surprised my mom, who happened to be visiting my brother in Georgia that night. Right now they're going, Mom, go answer the door. And she's going, it's not my house, why am I answering the door? Oh, there she is, she's coming. Hey, Mom.
No freaking way! Oh my gosh!
Hey there.
Hello, sweetie pie. Oh.
We ended up spending the night at his brother's house and having a nice home-cooked meal, which is rare, if not impossible, on Roadkill. And then the next morning, fired up our Corvette and totally brought down the property value.
I don't think they want that thing in front of their museum. That would give Corvettes a bad name. Good seeing you. Drive safe.
I went the last time.
Ooh, look at that. Now, I don't know if you realize the true historical significance of this Corvette. See, if you go back to Corvette history, you look at 1953, and that car had an inline six-cylinder engine making 150 horsepower. And 22 years later, they had eclipsed that. This Corvette, with its L48 350 engine, makes 165 horsepower. That's right, this is the lowest powered V8 Corvette ever made. And they're not even pissed off horsepower. They're not even mildly annoyed horsepower. But the good news is the interior is super comfy with these Jeep Wrangler seats and no dash to get in the way. Yeah, this is about as good as a Corvette gets, at least a Roadkill Corvette.
So it's Thursday morning now, and we're on our way to Bowling Green, Kentucky, where we're going to go see where they actually make Corvettes, because we need to give them a few tech tips based on our intimate knowledge of this particular model.
Yeah, here's where you screwed up. That part of the car that allows water to go in the car, don't do that anymore.
This is the worst Corvette ever. It has no horsepower, no windows, it's really cold. The only thing keeping us from freezing to death are these blankets, but other than that, things are going pretty well. And I'm feeling pretty good about this trip, right up until the point where we ran out of gas.
We were shocked to discover that the fuel gauge in the Corvette wasn't really accurate. We were able to jag across like 4 lanes of traffic, up and off ramp, barely cresting the top of it, just in time to hit another downhill part where we coasted into a gas station within like 10 feet of the pump. It couldn't have gone better. Once we figured out how to keep gas in the tank, it was pretty much smooth sailing till we finally arrived at the mecca of Corvettes, Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is the site of not only the National Corvette Museum, but also the assembly plant where every single Corvette has come from since 1981. And they even had special parking just for us. Finally made it to Bowling Green, and we're deep inside the heart of the Corvette plant. This is where all the brand new Corvettes come from, right here. There's 7 miles of conveyor belts that go around inside this building that's 1 million square feet. It's 14 acres.
I was just at Disneyland like a week ago with my kid, and it looks a lot like this, except this is brighter and moving a lot slower, but somehow this is more fun than Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
This is where the frame is actually built from the ground up. The frame is actually aluminum now as opposed to steel. That makes it 99 pounds lighter and about 57% stiffer.
This is where they all come together. The engines being installed up from the bottom, or actually the bodies being dropped onto the chassis from above.
Yeah,
that's cool. Oh, there, check it out.
The headers are on it already?
They obviously don't know how to do this right because there isn't ATF all over the floor. I don't see anybody looking for tools.
I hate to say this, but it really makes us look like amateurs.
It kind of does. So many people here are recognizing us, people who work on the assembly line. I think we're going to be responsible for ruining a couple new Corvettes because people are stopping working to wave at us.
Dude, you're the real deal.
Oh, thanks.
Roadkill is awesome. I can't begin to tell you.
Thank you.
My boys are gonna freak.
Cool.
Hey,
very nice. Thanks a lot.
Wow, you paid him to do that, didn't you? Look at that. Nobody's driving that.
That's crazy.
It's called our AGC robot. It's the automated guided cart. That's special vision technology. So if you were to actually be standing in front of it, it would patiently wait for you to move before it moved on.
After the tour, we finally reached the very end, the place where these Corvettes spring to life for the very first time and move under their own power. And the very first thing they do after like 10 feet is run over these gnarly stutter bumps that settle the suspension for them.
I'm not really a Corvette guy. You know, they're expensive. I really can't afford one. But I gotta admit, I walked out of this place wanting one.
Finally, we arrived at our ultimate destination, ground zero for Corvette destruction. These are the ones they pulled out.
So this thing fell into Middle Earth. It's really not that trashed.
Looks like most of the stuff in my driveway.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. So Hill and Karen Clark donated their car to the museum, and this is how it gets treated?
Yep.
I'm not leaving my car parked here. That one I just put right back in the hole. How do we get to the hole, miss?
You're heading that way.
Keep on going. Hole's that
Don't
one?
go in it.
Oh, we're going deep.
There's a glass wall.
That's why we got these.
We knew the odds were pretty low that the guys at the Corvette Museum would allow us to actually ghost ride our Stingray into the hole. But we thought we'd try anyway. I mean, hell, we drove all the way from Florida. How could they tell us no?
We have a car we'd like to donate to the museum.
You do?
But we want to put it directly in the hole. So it can no longer hurt any of mankind.
Okay. Well, what kind of car is it?
75 Corvette.
A 75. I thought we'd say Mustang.
Oh, no. We want to make a time capsule. We want to make a donation.
No offense. Nobody wants this Corvette. I would actually like to ghost ride the Corvette into the hole.
You would, yeah.
Rick the gas pedal, let it go. Where she lays, she lays.
Think of the live video feed.
Yes, that would be something I would like to see. That'd be fun.
All right, sweet hole, Bob. Thanks for showing us.
You're very welcome.
I don't think Bob's going to let me put my Stingray in his sinkhole.
After a week-long immersion into the Corvette world and seeing the sinkhole that swallowed 8 vets, we get it now. Chevy runs deep.
So in the end, it turns out we kind of offended these guys with the suggestion that our 75 should go back in the hole and get covered up and paved over, sort of as a memento to the Corvettes that could have been lost. And so here we bring you gratuitous Corvette violence, all 165 horsepower worth. Yeah, the beauty of this is that we can't open the hood because the cable broke.
Yeah.
So we're fine. So I finally got the Corvette Stingray out of my system. I'd kind of wanted one for a long time, and now I'd had a road trip in one. If you think about it, this is a roadkill win. We took a car that had not run in 6 years, fixed it, overcame adversity, went to the Corvette assembly plant, saw the sinkhole, and unfortunately did not get to leave our Corvette behind.
As usual, time was short and we had to jump on an airplane home. So we called up our buddies at Holly and said, hey man, you can have the keys to our Corvette.
Why are we always bailing these guys out? Divas.
Here's the choice. You can take it right back to that building over there and park it. Okay, it's not legit to be on the street.
Okay.
All right. If I see it again, we're going to have to tow it.
That's my second choice. Go.
Second choice.
Okay, well, right. I'm picking option number 1.
All right.
Thank you very much for the courtesy. This time on Roadkill, it's the take the muscle truck engine and put it in the boat, go out on the lake, take the boat engine back out of the boat, put it back in the muscle truck and go home episode.
And somewhere in there we have fun. So it's January, and because this is sunny Southern California, it's almost 80 degrees out, which means we can go boating. Where else are you gonna be able to do this? And as usual, we're gonna do this the hard way. Dave's on his way to my shop because my cousin has this old jet boat without a motor, and Dave has the muscle truck, which has an LS6 in it. We're gonna drag this to the lake. We're gonna rip the motor out of the truck, put it in the boat, go do some racing, take the motor back out of the boat, put it in the truck, drive all the way back home. It will be just that easy. This is Roadkill. Everything the hard way, even if it kills us.
Yo, that thing is cool.
Yeah, right? Check the name out.
1974 special.
You almost called it. It's a 76.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a Jeep.
Pretty much.
Oh, I like this too.
The genius of this plan here is, yes, pretty fast, pretty fast and together. Neither one of these have motor plates for an LS engine.
Is this ready?
It has motor plates for an LS. But
That's as far as you'll go.
But it is built with some hokey stuff, like the fuel system, plumbed with Teflon line, real good. Water system, rubber hose that would hook up your washer and dryer.
It's just water.
In the 60s and 70s, there were about 40 manufacturers producing like 100 different models of jet boats.
And they all look like this?
Well, there's only 4 that run worth a damn. This is one of them.
Oh, okay.
It's old and fairly hacked up, and so, you know, it's not worth a ton of money, but you stick a halfway decent motor in it, and at the very least, it gets you and your beer to where you want to go. This is one of the few boats that you can go really fast in, and if the motor blows up, you don't get spit out of the boat.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's safe.
I've never really been a boat guy. I don't know anything about them. I don't think I ever will be. But it's cool that I'm going to get introduced to them right here. I'm glad he has them so that I can play with them. The boat itself, though, is super cool. If I had to have a boat, I would have that. It has patina, it has style, it has 70s goodness going on. I dialed that thing in on the way here. But we need to fabricate a trailer hitch because the trailer hitch company sent me 2 right-hand frame brackets instead of a right and a left. So we'll be hacking and welding.
Well, we're gonna put all the really heavy stuff that could scratch anything in the truck, because, you know, we just put a brand new wood bed floor in there, and that's how we're getting to the lake.
That's how we're leaving for the lake. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, am I gonna barf? Nah, I'm not gonna get seasick in the boat. I think Finnegan's gonna do everything he can possibly do to embarrass me on this trip. I imagine at some point I'll end up in the water, but I will resist. We're packing up absolutely everything that we need to get this job done. We're not gonna forget anything. Finally, we get to the actual problem here. 2 right-hand frame brackets, or maybe left-hand, not a right and left.
We will fully be maxing out my welder to put that together.
Whoa! I thought you were grabbing it too.
It's all right, this fell and distracted me.
Nice. We planned that.
It's a spoiler now.
We were destined for this.
Look at this. There's no reason for this not to happen. Everything fits.
Well, the thing with this aftermarket hitch is that if we do it like it's meant to be, the bracket hangs down so far, the hitch is gonna end up right about here because the truck is so low. I mean, literally it would be right there. So we're figuring out how to fabricate our own cross member and receiver now. To make the hitch, we had to fabricate our own cross member, make sure that we weren't welding near the gas tank so that that exploded. We also had to make it so that we could still service our fuel pump, and to do all of that, we had to unbolt the entire bed of the truck to pick it up a little bit so that we could do our fabricating.
This trailer hitch is 99.5% done. All I need now are the plates that he's drilling. We'll clamp those to the truck, weld this to the plates. Dishes are done. We're out of here.
We got these side plates done now, miraculously. All my holes that I drilled lined up perfectly. So now we have to mock the hitch in there, mark it, weld it up, bolt it together, drop the bed back down, bolt it back on, load the boat, hit the road. And it's dark outside already. I called it. Pretty soon we'll be having that conversation about, well, should we really leave tonight? Or should we just leave in the morning? I'm sure in the real world you'd like these brackets to be about this long, but this is the Roadkill world where the brackets are this long, and it works perfectly.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Chicks everywhere are gonna want to get towed by the muscle truck now.
Wow. "7:45 in the morning, I think we're about to hit the road, and I think we might even make it all the way to Lake Elsinore. Apparently it's like 100 miles away. It's gonna rain. Perfect. I'm gonna let Finnegan drive because this thing has no brakes and I'm not crashing the boat." So not bad.
Not bad at all.
We're winning right now.
I didn't want to jinx it. I don't want to say we're gonna make it, but it's not bad.
I said we're winning right now.
Now, this moment.
Right. Can we please do a burnout with the trailer attached?
Only if you tape up the front of the boat. But yeah, we can. Can you pass me the power window operator?
It's official. The needle nose off-brand Chinese vice grip is not the way to go for the window crank. Today we're headed to a boating event known as the Tom Papp Memorial. Tom Papp was a guy who was essentially a mentor to the whole jet boat community in Southern California and had a shop where he would help out anybody and essentially not charge them for it. So when he passed away, they decided that they would meet every year to honor him, and it turned into this giant gathering where like 100 boats show up every year. We're headed to Lake Elsinore, California, which is just south of Riverside, about 70 miles from LA. And from what I hear, the place is nasty. In fact, even the locals call it Lake Smell Some More. The good news is that it's not that great for fishing or swimming. It's all about speedboating.
Typical Roadkill fashion, I didn't think we'd actually make it this far. So I didn't call them to say, hey, we want to come change an engine in your parking lot.
Right.
But there is no sign that says don't work on your boat, so I'm thinking that applies to trucks as well. The problem, I think, is the cameras. We probably should go in there and say, hey, can we film your establishment for the next 24-ish hours?
For the next 24 showers?
Ish hours.
Ish? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, let's go see. So we talked to the guys in the office and said basically, hey, do you guys mind if we just work on our boat a little bit? And they're like, sure, we don't care. They had no idea what was coming. It was sort of a forgiveness versus permission program. Where do you want to do it? I'd really like to avoid dirt, but that's the road right there, isn't it?
We can put the back of the boat at the edge of the dirt.
Oh, like turn the trailer around, disconnect it, yeah.
Yeah. I wish we could film these guys because the look on their faces when they figure out what, oh, we got to do a little work to our boat is. It's going to be classic.
Why would they really care?
I don't think
We're not
they
going to
will.
put oil on the ground much.
I know a buddy that got staph infection from this lake, so don't dive in with your mouth open. We were here for a boat race, and he was one of the guys that was helping launch boats, and he had a cut on his leg. He was in the water all day and ended up in the ER. But I love this place.
That could have been my toe. It wasn't, but it could have been. Okay.
This is the key to our success, is the portable Chinese-made and totally reliable engine hoist. This is the same hoist that went to Sparks, Nevada and put an engine in El Camino during a snowstorm in a parking lot.
That might send a message.
You think? Is this the telltale sign? Stuff's about to get weird in their parking lot? You said you had a little bit of work to do.
We consider this a little bit of work.
Yeah, this isn't that bad.
It's only going to take a day or less. This might be another clue. What's about to go down?
Oh, maybe it's just overheating.
We've got MSD Atomic EFI on this thing, which is like the simple self-learning fuel injection deal. All of the electronics and everything are in here. It's just a matter of unzip tying and unplugging everything, and then we'll get it out and be able to put it back in quickly.
So this is the wiring harness that's going to allow us to quickly
put that LS6 into that jet boat and run it. This will control the spark.
Okay.
So much wind.
Okay, that wants to puke though.
There's a drain pan right there. Dude, look at the level of containment we got going on here.
Not one drip has hit the ground yet.
This makes up for years of us ruining the earth.
All right.
Driver's side header exchange on a C10. Never happened before.
Pretty good.
Never.
The
Try
LS
that.
fits nice.
There's a lot of sand there.
I'm under here trying to undo the torque converter to flywheel bolts. And unfortunately, we've got nothing to turn the engine over with. So we're trying to rig the starter to work. There, stop. Okay, let me get one out. Ow! Oh, pinch. Oh, that hurt.
That sucks.
Yeah, I can feel the empathy.
It pains me. It troubles me to hear you speak that way.
It's only raining a little bit. I hope it gets much worse before we're done. This just stopped working.
So that oil on the floor of the truck came from the jack.
Exactly. That moment, we just won. So far, we've been pretty lucky. We haven't tried to actually hang this in the boat yet, so I shouldn't talk too soon.
These are the original mounts that actually bolted the LS6 into our truck. These will not work in our boat. Chris Starkweather over at B1 Racing in Santa Ana, California, crafted a front motor plate setup that will bolt onto the existing water pump holes and then down to the stringers of the boat. And this is how we're going to mount this thing in. See, the thing about boats is they're super easy to work on, but there are no kits for these things. You can't go online and just order a conversion set of bolts and mounts to put one of these together.
Look at this bitchin' mid-plate. This thing was made by B1 Racing in Santa Ana, California, and it's nice. I mean, look at the mill job. The problem is, this nice semicircle is an interference fit with the flex plate. Apparently they had mocked it up on an engine that had a smaller diameter flex plate, so this is hitting. And instead of letting it self-clearance, we're gonna fire up the generator and Finnegan's gonna hit it with the flap disc and create greatness out of butchery. So it fits now?
Yeah, all that grinding I did, not necessary, it was on backwards.
I didn't do that.
When you turn it around, it's just fine. Let's not focus on who did it. Let's just focus on, hey, motor goes in boat
it's
now.
Fixed.
Yeah.
Where are the dowels? I need to smash them back
they're
in.
on the ground.
Whoa, it just chipped a big piece off the main rail.
Because it's sitting on the main rail, because it can't come my way because of the starter.
Okay.
We can grab a Sharpie, we need to mark it, we need to grind the aluminum part of it. A little more. There we go. And with any luck, that's the last time we'll need the death wheel for this installation.
Okay, we'll work all night now.
Because that's not going to piss off the neighbors. We can always stick this in the cab of the truck with the windows up.
Yeah, because the exhaust wouldn't hurt that situation. We have a couple problems going on here now. This adapter was built to be able to connect the drive shaft for the boat to the back of the crankshaft. But the problem here is that the drive shaft is completely bottomed in the jetaway, which isn't good. and our adapter won't fit in there. It's as if the crank flange has a different offset in it than it did on the engine that they mocked it up with. So we have to move the engine forward in order to get enough slip travel in the drive shaft in order to fit this in. But after that, we still need to be able to get a longer bolt. And the thing that we have discovered is this is a special thread designed by GM that does not match anything we're going to be able to get at a hardware store anywhere. Right?
That about sums it up. We're screwed. I think there's a certain level of...
All right!
And the generator's out of gas.
Can I go to sleep now?
No.
By now it's like midnight and we had no solutions other than for Mike to hitch a ride all the way back up to his shop where he was going to hook up with a guy who would machine our spacer just a little bit and more importantly, loan us 3 bolts that would go in the back of the LS crank.
The guy I wanted to race tomorrow, Mr. Nuckenfutz, has an LS powered jet boat and we robbed 3 of the bolts out of the back of his crankshaft. So now it's even. He's got 3, we have 3. I'm sure none of it will come flying apart in the middle of that race. And the guys at B1 Racing shaved 400 thou off the back of our drive shaft yoke. So now we have clearance, and this engine can stay in the boat and I can't talk anymore because it's really late.
When the drive shaft breaks, does it just go through the bottom of the hull and sink the whole thing? Because that'd be a great video.
There's a battery there.
After it saws through that, starts an electrical fire, does it do that?
Well, I figure
the good news is the electrical fire goes out when it goes underwater.
Right. I never understood why they put fire extinguishers in boats, because, I mean, let's be honest.
Water doesn't burn.
Let's be honest, you're there. You're there already.
Easy as that. Look at all that mashed whatever.
Oh my God, look at all the sand.
Wow, that's bad. This is all sand from when we took this to the dunes. If that tells you how hardcore we got out there, that's pretty legit. I don't know how we're gonna deal with it. I think that's all we got. So if we had enough sand in there, would it sort of extrude on the ports as it ran? The EFI was cool and all, but it just wasn't saying jet boat. And so, bam! Holley high ram, tunnel ram, and 2 650 Ultra double pumpers. You couldn't really have the boat without that.
Look how much bigger our engine is now.
I know.
Oh yeah, she makes 850 NA. 1200 on the bottle. Where's your nitrous? Don't worry about it.
Yeah. You know, it's got the sand, dude. The what? The sand. It's the new thing.
As usual, we were dead late when we arrived at the event because we had been up all night trying to put the Rogers together. And when we showed up, the launch ramp was packed with chrome and powder-coated machines and a whole lot of people that were ready to hit the water.
It's morning now, day of the event. As you can see, a lot of people here ready to have a good time. And we are not quite ready. We're close though, the carburetors are on. That's the key to life right there.
Gloriously, I was able to actually sleep 5 hours last night, which I think is gonna save us this morning because we don't have that much left to do. People are taking bets right now how long it's going to take us to get in the water. It's 9 o'clock, and he's claiming noon. And I'll say that's reasonable, which means 2.
So here's what we got left here. We've got to wire the ignition, hook up all the fuel lines, plumb the puke tank, and then put the headers on, tighten up the alternator. We're good.
Recognize this guy? He made the roll cage on our vet hat car, and believe it or not, he had a customer come into his shop and go, you know what, I need one just like that. So he duplicated that vet hat car, and it got delivered, what, yesterday?
Yeah, last night at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
In the truck, we had the atomic EFI running the ignition system, but when you put carburetors on an LS engine, you need something to trigger the coils because the GM Gen 3 engines have no distributor at all. And so there's one answer to that, which is these MSD boxes. They make 2 of them. One of them is for their early engines with a 24-tooth reluctor on the crankshaft that plugs in right here. The later engines tend to be a 58. There's some crossover years where you really got to find out which reluctor that you've got. But once you know that, you just buy the correct box. It all plugs right in, one for the left bank, one for the right bank. Then they go to some of the sensors like the crank position and the cam position. And then you have to deal with your timing. In the bottom of the box right here, there's a place you can shove a chip in that has a pre-programmed timing curve, but we prefer to go with the actual programmed curve through our laptop computer that plugs in right there.
said we'd be done by noon. It's 11:20, giving us plenty of time to start the boat, find out that everything leaks, and work on it for another half an hour before we go on the water.
Yes! Okay.
Let's go boating.
So what are the odds this thing floats? It's been 10 years since it's been in the water. You're floating now.
Okay, pull it back out.
Go out. Apparently we have not only a small water leak, but a big gas leak. Somebody put tape around the braided hose as you normally do to keep it from fraying, but then the tape is still in there while the fitting is put together, and so it seems like it's holding the hose in a way that's making it leak out of the fitting. So we got to take that apart and try not to fill the whole bilge with gas while we're doing it.
Here's our solution. Leaky hose, bring the spare, build a new one. We'll be on the water in 10 minutes.
I literally had the shakes the first time I hit the key on the Rogers. I mean, think about it. We just ripped this engine out of a truck, put it in a boat that hadn't been on the water in about 10 years, and now I was ripping across Lake Elsinore in this thing. After cruising for a bit, throwing a rooster tail, and playing it safe getting to the other side of the lake, we finally rolled into the cove, and the scene is epic. Side-by-side drag racing with boats, people hanging out on the beach having a good time. I mean, if it wasn't January, there would have been bikinis everywhere, and this would have been the best day at work ever.
Once we beached the boat and started to hang out, Finnegan broke the news. He had realized about halfway across the lake that we had actually jacked up the controller that adjusts the angle of the jet coming out of the back of the boat. It was dead flat, and apparently that means if we raced, someone was gonna die.
What we did was, took a piece of ski rope and tied the nozzle in the up position. We didn't have any control over it, but at least now the boat would plane out, throw a rooster tail, and we could still enjoy the rest of our day, even if we couldn't go drag racing.
Instead of racing, we just decided to cruise around the lake and check out this boat that hadn't been on the water in 10 years. And you know what? It was good. We had a lot of fun. As a matter of fact, it was probably the best 2 hours of boating ever. Hard-earned.
We're out of gas.
You're kidding!
Nope.
We ran out of gas. It's all right. I feel good. Maybe eventually we'll get to the outhouse. Yeah, that happened.
They don't get the best fuel economy. I think you can rate it in single digits. Like the average jet boat goes about 3 miles per gallon, something like that. And I don't care because it's about 50 miles per gallon as far as I'm concerned.
So, paddle?
Didn't bring a paddle. We have no life vest, no paddle, no rope, even if they could tow us.
Well, you know what that means.
We've got nothing.
We need to catch on fire, because we're prepared for that.
Just sink this bitch and get it over with.
Well, I feel good.
I'm, you know what?
I was gonna do the same
Solid.
thing.
It's a good win. I think America wants to see the bottom of our feet. People outside of America probably not, but well,
look at that.
Not yours anyway.
Necrotic, nasty foot. Check that out.
Eventually we'll float to land, right?
I'm not in a big hurry to take this motor out anyway. I gotta pee.
Hit it.
Key on. There we go.
Yeah. This is fully illegal. Refueling on the water. This is the water tank. I'm filling it up for ballast. We're gonna go wakeboarding soon.
Nice.
I'm sorry, I won't do it again.
After the boat event, we pretty much just hung out, had a lot of fun, talked to some people, which left the engine swap to the next day. And when we woke up, perfect. It's raining. But as you know, there's no glory without suffering. This is gonna be fun.
Pit area is sloppy and wet now.
I have the hard part of this job. Okay, that's good. Stop, 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 stop.
It's Sunday, the day after the Tom Papp Memorial out there on the water. Full success, that's what we had. Now all we gotta do is get that engine out of that boat, put back in that truck, the way it was before, so Dave's happy, and drive home.
It's barely drizzling right now, but the forecast says that it's gonna pour later on, and our video guys have taken the easy up so that they can keep their camera gear dry.
Alternator's a little scuffed. Who ordered ranch dressing? It's all over the alternator now. We are about to set our own personal record for removing an engine out of a jet boat. I'm calling 10 minutes this thing's out of the boat. And we have not disconnected or done anything other than getting out the tools we know we need to do the job. Prepare to be amazed.
Ready? Go!
Woohoo! Okay, fuel line is loose. Breather hoses are off.
Okay, hand it over to the transom.
Turns off.
Guide it up and over the dipstick. There we go.
Okay, what do I need to get the starter off?
Oh no.
What?
The hoist fluid. We're hosed.
No, it wasn't upside down. It'll be fine. It just takes a few pumps to get started because it's Chinese. Sorry, China.
China gets us every time.
Water line is hanging up on something.
Go.
All right, what's the time?
And out. 12 minutes, 36 seconds. We didn't do 10.
Close enough. We didn't even scratch the boat.
Nope. As it turns out, the local Walmart does not have rain gear. I had this, my pants are gonna get soaked, the rain's coming, so we're improvising.
Oh, dude, this is gonna work. I feel like Superman now. Our jet boat motor is rapidly becoming a muscle truck motor again. We got the front accessory drives on, about to put the power steering back on it, and then I think we'll put it in the truck.
Look at this. That's how much it's raining. Hey, can we do like on Overhauling, where we just get like a whole crew of guys to come in here and wrap this up, and then they show us like polishing it off and driving it out?
Are you talking smack on Chip?
We are done with the cherry picker.
A little bit of water, a little bit of sand.
These rails right here, the fuel rails with the injectors that Finnegan's cleaning sand off of from our off-road excursions in the muscle truck, they just drop right in. The computer that controls the thing is in these rails. There's just a power module on the firewall, and everything plugs right in. It's basically a no-brainer installation. It looks kind of messy because we've had it on before, but these are all just plugs that go to like the crank position sensor, the cam position sensor, all the stuff that's already on the LS motor.
The home stretch.
As soon as I find the nut for the starter, I will have the headers on. Finally, it was down to the grueling end. Naturally, some of the bolts that we had taken out just 2 days before had walked away. So there were some minor nightmares, and we were burned out, but we finally got it running and hooked up the boat and headed back for home. Fixed!
Dishes are done, man. Let's go home.
And this is something we had talked about doing for so long, and I can't believe we actually pulled it off. So many guys out at the lake were like, why would you even do this? Take apart a perfectly good truck, put it in the boat, the whole thing. You know what? It's because we can. I know you've never seen it before, And this was glory. And being out there on the lake was actually a lot of fun. I learned a lot about speedboats. It was great to see how the LS performed in the thing. So Finnegan finally got in his boat episode. And you know what? It was a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. I had a lot of fun out there on the lake. Was it really worth all the wrenching though? Not really. You didn't think we'd end without a burnout, did you?
That doesn't work. That sucks. He's in a coma at all times.
What'd I miss?
Hey, quit it. We're not playing.
This is the air shot.
What?
This is why we bring the quiet dog normally.
What? I have to work. You're not helping. Go get your ball.
But for now, we're zip tying license plate right
Ready?
there.
Ready? Whoa!
You're getting humped.
Taking you home, but I'm not going home with you.
This time on Roadkill. Road trips, burnouts, breakage, buddies, and Roadkill nights. Let's go! Yeah! Woo! It's the Roadkill Nights episode. Our whole plan here is to drive from right here in the St. Louis area all the way to Pontiac, Michigan, where we're going to meet up with Mike Finnegan and Dave Newbern. We've got the Wreck Runner, we've got the Pepto-Dismal, we've got Steve Dulcich, and special guest star from the hit MotorTrend show Faster with Finnegan, Mike Cotton.
What's that?
Let's pause a second here. You know how I just said this is the Roadkill Nights episode? Well, that's what I was led to believe when we were shooting this episode, because if you caught the last episode of Roadkill, you would have seen that Finnegan and Newbern weren't actually driving the death metal Charger up here like they told me. Instead, I found out that it was all a ruse from them and the entire crew to keep me out of the loop as they rebuilt the Hemi Gremmy with 700 horsepower and surprised me with it at Roadkill Nights. So all of this episode right here is actually a behind the scenes from that same week leading up to the event where everyone was keeping me distracted and all I knew was that we were road tripping from St. Louis to Pontiac, Michigan to have a burnout showdown at Roadkill Nights with some of our cars. Got it? Good. Now back to the show. So what we're gonna do here is have Dulcich explain the history of the Wreck Runner. I guess I'm gonna break to you the bad news about the history of the Murata. And then we gotta decide which one of these things we're gonna test drive with who and when to see if they're even gonna make it all the way.
They're gonna make it all the way. No, I've got this.
Oh, it's a given.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we still need to drive it around the block because that's a pile that runs on 7 cylinders and this has a charging system that might not work.
And who knows what else, right?
Yeah, all of that. You're gonna drive the Wreck Runner, I'll be passenger, and then all of us are piling into that with you driving.
I'm fine with that.
I'm good. So here it is. This is the car we call the Wreck Runner. Finnegan and Freiberger bought a completely wrapped around a pole Plymouth Roadrunner, and they just butchered it together, got the thing running, and they had a few laughs with the car, and it made a pretty good episode of Roadkill. After that, the car sat around for a little while, and we decided to do something more with it. We bought a 1968 Plymouth Satellite body, and we just scalped all the parts off the wrecked Roadrunner and put it on the Plymouth Satellite. That way, the Wreck Runner kept living on. We ran a couple of episodes of Roadkill Garage, and most recently we put a quarter panel on the back of it with the help of Chris Birdsong. So right now we're gonna road trip it. We've road tripped it before. We took it all over Monument Valley where the original Roadrunner cartoon series was shot. It's got a 383 motor under the hood, straight out of the Wreck Runner version 1. It's got a 4-speed manual transmission with a good clutch now and 410 gears in the 8 3/4 rear end. That is perfectly roadworthy.
What you're looking at here is a 1980 Dodge Murata, but don't look too carefully because you will only be disappointed, just like I was when we drove this thing with Finnegan on an episode of Roadkill. Here's the story. I always wanted a pro street car. I kind of wanted the drag racy style, but ended up with this, a very 1980s kind of car. We picked it up at a buddy's place in Michigan. We drove it and found an old drag strip, and then we showed up at the DuQuoin Fairgrounds, which is the home of the Street Machine Nationals, where, by the way, I met Mike Cotton almost exactly 30 years ago. Now, on that road trip with this car, it wasn't all easy. The exhaust fell off. It had a massive fuel leak. We had to fix the charging system at the side of the road. But now it's mint. Not really. This thing is hideous. It is built so poorly. It has a bone stock 400 cubic inch big block Chrysler under the hood. It's narrowed in the back and has big meats, but it's on leaf springs. And for some reason, Cotton loves this thing, which is why we're gonna stab him in it to make our road trip to Detroit. The rain's coming in, but we're gonna give it a shot.
It's still really tough to shift.
Oh yeah, I forgot this trans is not that good.
No, but I've got a killer clutch in it now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see if it works.
Perfect.
It's pretty wet.
Yeah, look at it's pulling to the right really hard.
Pulls to the right gnarly.
The worst thing about this car is that it's hard to shift at RPM, so.
Yeah.
But I've got a whole new drag racing gear set being made for this transmission.
Yeah.
That's just gonna make it shift at wide open throttle and be even more undrivable. Right?
It runs good.
Yeah, it's not misfiring. The plugs seem fine to me. What do you think?
I'm ready to leave.
You're ready to leave?
Oh yeah, I'd fire this thing up and drive it to Detroit right now.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go get the Murata.
Okay.
Wait till you see how disgusting the interior is on this thing.
Really?
It's very absorbent.
Is it very sleazy 1980s in there?
It's worse.
How'd it run?
It's perfect.
I heard it.
Good to go.
Well, I think we need to try mine.
Yeah, I know. I'm ready. Dulcich, you volunteered for the back seat.
I didn't know it smelled like that.
Because it's tubbed, the seat has been narrowed, like front to back.
Oh man, this is pretty not too roomy.
I might give you a little room. You want a little room?
Okay. I'm more concerned about how I'm going to get out if I have to.
You don't have to worry about it, Steve. We're good. This car is meant for us to just enjoy.
Ooh, fired right up.
Now this is running on 7 cylinders.
It sounds so tough.
It's a camshaft. Back in the day, this was cruised on the fairgrounds, and it looked good. This was the pinnacle of the pinnacles back then.
I'm sure it had a way better engine at the time. Somebody dumped a smog or turd in here to sell the car. It's all the power you can handle, though, so it's good.
Ooh, boy. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Get it.
I think you're not taking advantage of the RPM capabilities of the short stroke 400
You know, this is a really big bore short stroke motor.
It's basically a 383
with a bigger bore.
With a bigger bore.
You can turn this into a 512 without even thinking about it.
Really?
Yeah, cranking the stroker kit drops right in. You don't have to clearance anything. You don't have to move the oil pickup.
You don't have to hire a mechanic.
Well, you always got to hire a mechanic.
It's Cotton.
What's that mean?
Now this is I might be riding with you.
It is super comfortable even back here.
If I didn't have Dulcich back there, I could lay back, man.
Yeah.
This is actually far superior to anything me and Finnegan had. All right, let's go back. I think we're ready to hit it. Let's let it rain tonight and be out of here first thing in the morning.
Oh, we made it back safely. I'm kind of thinking this car's pretty good.
I like it much better now.
So.
Well, thank you very much.
Right as we pulled back to the shop, we were smelling like oil smoke or something, and when we got out, it smelled way nastier than that, and smoke was pouring.
It smells like axle.
I climbed under the back of it, and I could see the rotor was just scalding hot and smoking. Well, it's pouring off the caliper.
Is it brake fluid?
What we don't know is if it is an axle seal throwing oil all over it, or if it's the brake pads dragging and create a bunch of smoke.
Because you guys drove it 8 million hours and bent it.
Wait.
I'm just saying, y'all would have last
You
people
were
touch
driving when it broke.
Yes, that's the rules.
That's the rule.
Steve, I thought you was on my side.
No.
All I did was fix it, polished it, and drove it.
Right.
You guys drove it, not fixed it. And then you got here and there was a wobbles. I had nothing to do with it. So that's y'all. If it's the bearing, that's y'all.
He's got a point there, Freiberger.
No, he doesn't understand the rule of dudes. You were driving when it broke.
Oh, yeah, it is the rule of dudes.
Right?
Man. Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Oh,
There we go.
look at the size of that meat.
That's a lot of goop on the inside of the wheel.
You know what? You guys never took the vice grip off.
There you go. So here's the situation. Back when Finnegan and I had this thing and we wanted to do burnouts, we vice gripped the rear brake line so that we wouldn't have rear brake pressure so that we could spin the rear tires. That vice grip was never removed. And so I'm thinking when he stepped on the brake, some fluid got past it, held the pressure on it, and it smoked the rear brakes.
You know what that means?
Take the vice grip off and we hit the road.
It's fixed at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Aha. There's the perpetrator.
Don't do this.
Are you lecturing me?
I'm telling them, y'all listen. Don't do this.
It's fine now.
Yeah, but I'm gonna put a little bit of brake clean around it. There's a bunch of goo on it. Okay, fine, Freiberger, let's just put it on there.
That was an ignorant mistake right there, but it's real common for roadkill. Meanwhile, Cotton actually re-watched the Murata episode in order to refresh his mind about this road trip, and he never said anything about it. Once again, his fault. Fixed.
Yeah.
Fixed.
You know what the problem is I'm actually embarrassed by my actions, and so you're my scapegoat. Yeah.
That's 30 years of us knowing each other.
Hug it out?
Nah, bro.
I've got my bubblegum air freshener. We are ready to go. The plan today is small roads, east, north, east, north, east, north until we get there.
You're directing, I'm driving.
Let's go. You'll notice I chose to ride in the Murata instead of the Rec Runner with inconvenient acceleration and bang shifting.
And him driving.
Right.
This is like nice and chill.
Oh yeah.
So do I have to like jump out of this at any time? No, I can drive the whole time, right? Yeah, it's good. Good idea. Good.
Once we get out of town, let her rip. Not used to convoying it like this. This thing is just so badass.
Woo, doggy. Steve, how's the noise back there?
What's that now?
It's hard to hear in this car. I'm feeling good because I've got the faster car.
Oh, I forgot about the deceleration backfire on this. You know what that actually is?
No.
It's got header leaks, and it runs rich enough that as you decelerate, oxygen comes in, and what do you need to make fire? You need a fuel source and oxygen. You're adding oxygen to the fuel, and it's already got some heat in it in the mufflers, and it boom, 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 really? Boom, boom. Yeah.
I wonder if this is as fast as he can go. I don't want to be a menace to myself or others.
That was the Dulcich. Thing sounds good, doesn't it?
Sounds real good.
Yeah.
Look at that, was all the horsepower we had.
Yeah. So, Cotton, you know how when you're on a flight and on the first leg you're like in first class, and then you change planes and get the puddle jumper where you gotta like crank the running gear down for the pilot?
Yeah?
That's what's happening to me right now.
Oh, you're going to him?
Yeah.
This is first class?
Yeah.
That's first class? I thought it was the other way around.
Oh, this is much more rudimentary and raw and muscle car-y and masculine.
Man, you're building me up, Freiberger.
Yeah, I just can't ride in a pink car anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking as I began to feel that the Murata was superior. I now realize that's completely incorrect.
That's insane. Yeah, this thing is pretty macho, if I do say so myself.
It's radically better. Plus, we assembled it by hand, every nut and bolt.
I know.
Yeah, I remember at the very beginning where Dulcich and I road tripped this car. This car explains to me why muscle cars were so popular to begin with. It's just stupid fun, especially with the stick.
Thanks for everything to do with the Wreck Runner.
Oh, yeah.
Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Normally, after 3,000 miles, you change the oil. How far have we gone, Freiberger?
93 miles.
Come on, play along with me.
3,000 miles we just went, so you need to check the oil.
This thing used to burn oil constantly in foul plugs, and how come now it's mint?
It's about half a quart, so I'm happy with that.
I guess what's gonna happen now is I'm gonna drive this garbage, and those guys are gonna go into the lap of luxury. See if I can make this thing run. And I got the fan on. You guys running?
Hey, don't be killing my stuff now.
Oh, no. This is the first time I've driven this thing in a long time. I actually need to move the seat up because Steve's so tall.
Man, this thing just drives itself. It's right.
Dude, it's a nice piece. The more I drive it, the more I like it.
Yeah, I haven't driven the Wreck Runner since Steve put 410s in the back and changed the clutch and installed the quarter panel. The quarter panel affects drivability.
Have you ever noticed that the whole instrument panel layout here is like a jet plane? 8 gauges worth of circles right there.
But they don't say nothing.
I wonder if Dulcich is falling in love with the Murata right now. The Pepto-Dismal is actually growing up in our eyes. Wow, this road is sketch-y for this steering. Hey, Dulcich.
Yeah.
The Wreck Runner steering is really bad on this road.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's not good on a good road.
Yeah, so it's way worse. How's the muffler dragging going on the Murata?
Are sparks flying?
Nope. No way. This car is almost perfect in every way.
Every way.
Oh, that's a little wearing. I have a new name for the Wreck Runner.
Lay it on me.
Toxic masculinity.
Oh,
I thought
man,
you'd like it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to drive this.
Yeah, you're going to.
I'm fine with it.
So I get to drive this?
Don't wreck
You're going
it.
to have to ride with him.
Yeah, that's fine. Cotton, just hop in there and show him how to drive the car. That's right. I'm going to hop in there and show you how to drive the car.
Let's go.
Don't wreck my car.
Your car? I bought this.
Yes, you did, but I'm taking it away.
Let's go! Woo!
I missed the gear.
Oh, there he goes. He's on it. He's driving it into the ditch. All right, Cotton. This thing's got some gear in it, man. 3,000 RPM. It's not going that fast. Hey, Cotton.
What is it?
Will it become the cotton candy?
What did he say?
He said it's no longer the Pepto-Dismal, it's cotton candy.
Yeah. How do you like it so far?
I love it, dude.
Yeah?
I like muscle cars like big time like this. Did you know that the Plymouth Roadrunner came out in 1968? And in 1969, it was the MotorTrend Car of the Year. I guess MotorTrend had noticed how it had established like this special niche for the big engine, low buck, fun, young car. Of course, the GTO did that in 1964, but the Roadrunner just took over the reins in 68 and 69. Well, good morning. Director Brad has brought us directly in front of the courthouse.
I don't like being here.
Yeah.
I don't like being in this spot.
Should probably get out.
Yeah.
Anybody have a coin? I'm gonna flip a coin as to who I'm riding with here.
Oh.
I will flip the company credit card. This is for me, passengering.
What are you talking about?
If it's heads, I'm going pink, and if it's tails, I'm going Wreck Runner.
Pink.
Tails, Wreck Runner.
The first time I lost ever. Told you it was a credit card, that's why you lost.
Wait, you lost?
Oh, I won. No, actually I won.
Well, let's
get out of here. I don't want to be here no more.
So we're headed to Bloomington, Indiana.
Okay. How many miles is that?
364. We need to drive about 160 miles today. Wow.
Dude, we were just talking about this. You don't see these, man.
No lie. Like, we're at Cotton's place, and he goes, you know what I really want these days? I want a 60 Chevy. Boom! Came around the corner, and there's a 1960 Chevy Biscayne, my favorite trim level. This is not bad. $6 grand.
I don't think it's a bad price at all.
No floors to speak of.
That's okay for me. Floors are optional.
Wow. This is cool. There was a time I wanted a 59 real bad, and the 60 has got the look. Should I check the hood? And 6-cylindro. I can't believe we're talking about it. We come over the hill and it's like,
like, no way.
It's like you manifested it, Cotton.
That's what I do.
Go talk to the guy. Figure it out. You need this.
All right, give me a minute. Let me go talk to this dude.
Don't screw this up or I'm gonna buy it.
I think we're ready to get him on the hook.
We just totally made that happen. The dog's yelling.
There's a Shetland pony coming over here. Bro, I'm telling you this now. I just saw Cujo the size of 8 foot tall come over there. And I am not a pony. Go ahead, it's a Shetland pony.
Dog. Hi, dog.
It's a big dog.
Hi, dog.
That's right. Stay with them.
And then look at this. It turns out that the guy who was selling the Biscayne is Nick from Johnny Apple's Speed. Here somewhere in Indiana, I don't really know where. So Cotton's over there trying to strike a deal on that thing because at this point, let's be honest, he has no choice but to buy it. Meanwhile, we're camping out here. Look at this, like, resort.
I know, it's like a perfect camping area. And you know what else?
What?
He said it's cool to do donuts.
Donuts, unbelievably. I guess we'll do that in the morning. Before it gets dark, we got to set up camp, and then fireworks. And now the show begins. Whoa! Boom! Yeah! Yeah! Boom!
This is a bad idea, Brad. Brad, it's a bad idea. Because I'm telling you right now, if I have to ride with him and he's bad, I'm punching you in the forehead. He'll be fine. Have you done this before? Oh, yes, I have. And what was the outcome from before? I ran away.
David! Oh my God!
Oh, right in my ear.
Oh. I don't know about, I don't know what he did. I wasn't part of it.
They got you on camera, Cotton.
I was over here the whole time. Go look at the camera reel. It'll show I was over here.
Cotton
Did not
pulled
do
the sheet
nothing.
back, and then he poured the water on your head while I tried to talk him out of it.
You did not just
Yes, I
say
did.
that. You did not
I
just
did.
say that. That's a lie.
Here we are, it's Indiana. And the next thing you're gonna see is the wreck runner doing donuts with permission of the owner. What you got for me, Cotton?
I got more of an exhaust.
This is the only way this car's doing a donut is on wet grass.
It is, that's it.
Where's the speed, Cotton? There you go. You're starting to pick it up.
Cotton's mowing the lawn.
Uh-oh. Don't get us stuck.
I'm not getting us stuck.
This is weak.
What are we talking about? We're in the pink Pepto-Bismol. This is about as much as we get. We ain't no Steve Dosage.
It's slippery.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
That was fun.
All right, that was fun. We're out of here.
Yeah.
Look at that thing of beauty.
It's mine. I got to do one thing before anybody else does anything to try to get it.
This looks like such a setup with this car and everything. It completely was not. We came over that hill, saw the 60 Biscayne. Cotton had already told me he wanted one. It's just amazing.
It's mine now.
Here we go.
Bye, car. See you soon.
You feel a bunch of grass flinging off the tires in that thing, Steve?
That's not surprising.
Steve is just majestic in that thing, right?
It's his hair. It's like Thor.
Thor?
It's like his hair.
Yeah. It's not good, Dulcich.
That's a rod knock. I can.
Oh!
I can smell it from here.
That's hairy. So here's actually the worst part of this situation. We raced a Prius on the highway and lost.
I was right behind you. I saw the whole thing.
It was embarrassing.
Because we were rod knocking.
When we were blasting down the highway, we literally ran a Prius a little bit. It was like a fan who saw us on the road. And now this thing sounds like it's rod knocking.
It's over here.
So we're gonna throw some motor sauce in this thing and cross our fingers and drive it until parts are hanging out and hope it doesn't hurt the block. That's bad. Cotton?
Huh?
What did you do?
Huh?
You were driving.
Huh?
Put a tag on it, and this thing is going to the morgue.
This is some thick goo-boo-goo. Man, why you blow up, car? We was doing so good. I'm gonna blame Steve.
Oh! Whoa! What? What was that?
That was payback is what that was. Because you may not realize this, but it's not Steve and Cotton who wanted to spray me with water. It was Director Brad. Handled. It's not that good in the ear, is it? All right, it's all fun and games splashing the crew, but we're gonna find out if we fix the rod knock with the pour-in sauce.
Ready?
Yeah, go. Oh, it's even cranking slow. There we go. No, the thicker oil quieted it down, but that's coming apart.
Right now, Cotton might just want to say a few words and we shut the hood.
Really?
For real?
Unless you want to keep it as an open hood ceremony. All right.
It is not fixed. Let me handle this. Let's see. Right there.
Man.
So it's junk. Cotton broke it. We're going to figure out how to put it on a trailer and figure out how the three of us are going to get all the way to Pontiac, Michigan. Aw, unhappy face.
I'm Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm sorry.
Break everything.
It has to suck to be Freiberger because we're riding in style in the Wreck Runner and he's got to get into some stupid SUV and drive all the way to Pontiac?
Well, I did blow the car up. So now they're heading there. Dave's got to take care of that. We're going to get on the road. And get wet.
Bye, guys.
That's payback, man. Enjoy your boring ride, David.
In the AC.
See you guys later.
Did you get wet?
Oh, damn straight.
I got wet. Well, let's make some time up, man.
You know what I'm gonna do, brother?
I don't know what you're gonna do, brother.
Man, you know,
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm gonna lay down some RPM. That's what I'm gonna do. I love me some Roadrunner.
I do too.
This is going to be a wild end to a crazy week, but first we need to catch you up. When you last saw Dulcich and Cotton, I guess I had sprayed Steve in the face with water. That's a story I need to tell you. And I had to trailer the Murata here because it's broken, so you're not going to see it again. We rod knocked the Murata really bad. And then they actually made it here in the Wreck Runner. How about you?
Oh, I had a hell of a week. We saw abandoned airports. We might have taken your gremlin on the back of a ramp truck down a quarter-mile pass. And then we got here and gave you your car back.
Yeah, which I'm still mind blown by. I keep stacking up new levels of surprise in the fact that all you guys, all you crew, the whole company like made all that surprise happen with the gremlin. You can see that in the prior episode of Roadkill. But now, massive burnout fest with all our friends. We've got all of these cars. We've got Dulcich, Cotton, Newbern, and special guest stars from Hot Rod Garage, Lucky, and Alex.
Yeah, because Roadkill, getting you here under the guise of massive burnouts was solely to just give you your car back, so.
But the scam is gonna turn into good burnouts right now.
Oh yeah, let's be super judgy. Let's just send them out in cars that they haven't driven in a long time or never.
Yeah.
And then judge them on their performance.
I can do that. All right. It's early morning here on the Dodge Thrill Ride skid pad at Roadkill Nights. First up for the Roadkill violence, Steve Dulcich and the Wreck Runner.
Boom!
If he doesn't get lost, I'll be surprised.
entrance.
There we go. All right.
Now we got smoke.
There it is.
Oh, this is excellent smoke.
How long do the motor pops?
I wonder if he turned the fans on. It's pouring fluids. It's pouring fluid.
I wonder if his fan's on.
Is it
Turn
dumping
your fan
fluid?
on.
It's dumping fluid?
Yeah.
Wish I remembered to turn the fan on.
The performance was about a 6, but the hair's a 10, so I'm gonna,
There you go.
I'm gonna give him an 8, you know?
You could call it amateur mistakes,
Amateur
but
mistakes.
I did not turn the fan on. I turned it on when I saw 230 on the temperature gauge, and I was like, oh, the fan must be off. But anyway, it was pretty fun.
2:30, I'm running late.
But who's next?
Alex.
Oh, my goodness.
What are you driving?
I'm driving the Crown Hick.
This whole car was built on Hot Rod Garage, and in case you're unaware, it's on a Crown Vic chassis.
Correct.
Crown Hick, one of the greatest project names.
Yes, it handles like a dream.
It's awesome.
That sounds good.
We got little teeny tiny tires. Oh, hello. Wow. That thing makes really good smoke.
Heck yeah!
There we go.
There you go. See, the reason for this is she did not build this truck, and they're not her tires. Wow!
Can't see anything!
I feel threatened. Wow.
Nice.
That's a golf clap.
That poor truck.
You get golf claps. Golf claps. That was a win.
Got it. That was fun.
Nice work.
Thanks.
That
you,
was
thank
really,
you.
really solid. My theory was you didn't build it and they weren't your tires.
I like the way you think.
Really good smoke.
Yeah. Okay, what I'm really looking forward to is these guys in the vet cart.
Yes. Yeah.
Just keep in mind, Cotton's already rod-knocked a vehicle.
Yeah.
That's why he's out of control of the pedals.
That's at the papa.
Isn't the general rule that if you're driving when the car brakes, it's your fault, right?
Yeah.
Remember, what they're doing here is tandem driving. We've got 12-volt Dave handling the gas and the brake, right?
Hey, bang, baby.
And then we've got Rod-Knock Cotton steering.
That's a good name. Rod-Knock Cotton.
We just took a vote. It's on you.
Rod-Knock Cotton.
Oh, went for third.
That's good.
That's a good car.
They're not messing around. Look at Alex. She's like, I might lose. The look on your face. Yes. That was good. That was amazing. That was full on double throwdown.
Oh, that was awesome.
So let's take a vote amongst ourselves. Alex or these guys?
They got that one.
I liked it.
That's a new match.
That's been the best performance yet. Hands down, not even
That
close.
was good.
Hands down, I admit it.
That was good.
But Lucky's gonna do better in the El Camino with the diesel in it. So this is a 70 El Camino with a Cummins in it?
Cummins 12 valve, yeah, and a gear star.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the adapter plate costs more than the car.
Okay.
So.
Is this what the Ram truck sounds like?
Oh, yeah.
There's some good smoke going.
Oh, it's pouring
That's why he's spinning better.
This is good. I give this credit. Oh! Did it blow off a discharge tube?
Sound like it lost boost.
Oh, it's blowing smoke, yeah. We're thinking turbo discharge tube popped off the thing. What did you do?
What was that popping sound?
Probably discharge tube.
Pretty sure the tire blew. Tire blew. Woo! Okay, so what do we got? We got you guys, right?
It's down to you and me.
Oh.
Yeah. It's on you.
This isn't good. Even if I win, I lose because you're in the car. It's your car.
Oh, that's a worst case scenario for you because I'm going to be panicking the whole time and you're going to be, ha ha!
It's a really loud car. I might not even hear you.
Oh, he's going straight for the Rockford. Didn't quite execute. He's only getting warmed up here.
Nice.
He's got speed. I'll give him that.
Whoa. 10 pounds of oil pressure.
Oh.
There's a pause here. Yeah, he's got to restart. So
This is like.
Yeah.
He's drifting it. He learned how to do it. Now he's drifting.
Where's the smoke?
Sorry, I really don't want to blow up the engine. It had no oil pressure.
Oh, I'm glad you're watching.
Yeah. Weak.
No smoke at all.
Yeah, that was.
What? They're gonna come bring the crusher, but they're gonna say, hey, we need to take the crusher. This car is too much valuable. We don't want to blow the quarter panel. That was awesome.
Yeah. For a while. You know what was freaking me out? I actually made him stop. It's all on me. We were 10 PSI when he was doing those donuts.
I said that. You came around. I was like, excuse me, have you seen my oil pressure?
Exactly. I think it's possible it has such a bad pan, it's just a stock Mopar pan, that even with the AccuSump, it's way out of the way. I use the AccuSump and then it drops down.
And then you know what happens at your motor if you do that?
Yes, I do. Knock,
Whoa.
knock.
Boom.
Knock, knock.
Oh,
Who's there?
Mike Cotton.
Cotton.
All right, we're going to try the Crusher Impala now, and hopefully it doesn't do the same thing.
Oh, that sounds like a winning automobile right there.
It is loud.
Oh, man, that's a lot of body roll. Oh.
See, they're having to reset again. They've already lost control.
Little more brake drag.
It's making more noise than smoke.
I thought this was a smoke show.
I thought it was too.
That's a lot better. Whoa! Oh. The power steering doesn't work.
I was heading for the barrier.
It's unsafe at this point. I can't steer. So I think Newbern and Cotton win.
Oh, 100%. We got roadkilled.
What happened?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you dudes won this whole deal, man.
Oh, yeah. This is fully a Newbern and Cotton win, in my opinion.
Nice work.
Yep.
Nice work.
Nice work, guys.
The least amount of horsepower and the biggest tire
100%.
took the win.
Two people though.
Teamwork here, folks. That's what it's all about.
So Cotton and Newbern had the best burnouts, but we gotta give credit to Alex Taylor. That was amazing. We went on to have an awesome time at Roadkill Nights. This was truly one of the best weeks ever, between getting the Hemi Gremmy back and just having a great road trip with friends. But the real winner here is Cotton. At the end of the event, with all of the goodwill going around, I decided that since he had so much love for the Murata, he should have it. And in true Roadkill fashion, it destroyed itself as he was towing it home on a dolly. It turns out none of us noticed that the brakes were sawing through the wheel and it came apart.
I heard a pop. You know what a pop means? It ain't good. That is the axle on the outside of the freaking rotor. It sheared everything off, so I've been roadkilled.
Luckily, no one was hurt. And when Cotton gets it fixed, maybe you'll see it again here on Roadkill.
There's a fireworks store. I guarantee Director Brad is about to call and say, can we stop there? Oh, he's further behind us than I thought, but wait for it.
Hey, fireworks store, can we stop, guys?
Told ya!
Chào mừng các bạn đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay, mình và các bạn cùng sẽ đọc câu chuyện Vì sao chúng ta khóc nhé. Bạn đã từng khóc chưa? Bất kể bạn đã trưởng thành chưa hay có dũng cảm hay không, nếu như bạn cảm thấy buồn hoặc bị tổn thương, bạn vẫn có thể muốn được khóc. Bất kể ai cũng có thể khóc, nhất là khi ngón chân của họ chẳng may bị vao hoặc kẹp mạnh vào đâu đó. Chúng ta thường khóc vì nhiều lý do khác nhau. Có thể vì chúng ta cảm thấy rất buồn, rất hạnh phúc, hoặc cũng có thể là do cơ thể chúng ta bị tổn thương. Khóc là một việc hết sức bình thường. Thế nhưng tại sao chúng ta lại khóc? Các loại nước mắt. Không phải tất cả nước mắt đều giống nhau. Thực tế, chúng ta thường tạo ra 3 loại nước mắt khác nhau: cơ bản, cảm xúc và kích ứng. Mỗi người là một cá thể khác nhau. Điều đó có nghĩa là chúng ta cũng khóc vì những lý do khác nhau. Nước mắt cơ bản. Nước mắt cơ bản. Trong mắt của chúng ta luôn có những nước mắt cơ bản. Chúng có tác dụng bôi trơn để mắt không bị khô. Nước mắt này sẽ lan ra khắp mắt khi bạn chớp mắt. Nước mắt kích ứng. Có thể chúng ta sẽ tạo ra loại nước mắt kích ứng này khi có thứ gì đó kích thích đôi mắt của chúng ta, chẳng hạn như chất gây dị ứng hoặc khói bụi. Chất thải ra khi bạn cắt của hành tây này sẽ có thể khiến mắt của bạn tạo ra nước mắt kích ứng đấy. Nước mắt cảm xúc. Chúng ta khóc ra những giọt nước mắt cảm xúc là khi chúng ta đang có cảm xúc cực mạnh về vấn đề gì đó, hoặc chúng ta đang bị đau. Nếu như chúng ta bị tổn thương hoặc bị sốc, chúng ta sẽ có thể khóc ra nước mắt cảm xúc. Thậm chí cả khi đang hạnh phúc, chúng ta cũng có thể khóc ra nước mắt cảm xúc. Nước mắt được tạo ra như thế nào? Mắt, mũi. Bộ máy tiết lệ được hình thành từ những bộ cơ quan và các bộ phận cơ thể tạo ra và làm chảy nước mắt. Những cơ quan quan trọng bao gồm cả mắt và mũi. Các cơ quan là các bộ phận của cơ thể chúng ta. Chúng thực hiện những chức năng nhất định. Thông điệp đã được gửi rồi. Hãy khóc thôi. Chúng ta hãy cùng tìm hiểu xem nước mắt đến từ đâu và chúng sẽ đi đâu nhé. Khi chúng ta khóc vì bất kỳ lý do gì, bộ não của chúng ta sẽ gửi một thông điệp đến cơ thể để khởi động bộ máy tiết lệ và chúng ta sẽ bắt đầu khóc. Hành trình của nước mắt. Và đây là đã kết thúc phần 1. Các bạn cùng hãy đăng ký kênh để xem tiếp phần 2 nhé. Cảm ơn các bạn đã lắng nghe.